Undr The Cosh, Undr The Cosh, it's Undr The Cosh and friends. Oh, Undr The Cosh, it's Undr The Cosh, it's Undr The Cosh and friends. Oh, week by week we take a peek at another guest, but it's a mystery. Oh, Kylie Minogue, no, Russell Crowe, more likely a footballer that you don't know. So grab a beer and bring that cheer, 'cause it's time for Undr The Cosh and friends. How we doing, fellas?
All right, but you?
Yes, I'm good.
If anybody heard halfway through that intro song, it was the one with the big hooter.
I've got some new shoes on.
Well, you stood on a duck. What happened then?
Second best night of the week. Coming up.
Yeah. Go on, mate. I've got a couple of apologies to make.
Oh, we're starting with apologies.
Yes, I've been trying to get Roger. Well, I can't remember what I called him. What did I call him? Desiree. I've been trying to get Roger Desiree on. I've tweeted him, nothing back, and I've been trying to get Gail Plays on.
She's not having it.
Nothing back from Gail Plays either. So,
Johnny, the one that slips through the net, because they were funny, but the Paul McCartney, how can you do a quiz question and not get the right answer in any of the four options?
I did.
You didn't.
Fuck, I did. I'm telling you, I did. What's Paul McCartney's first real name then?
It was James one or something. It wasn't even an option.
It wasn't within the four options, whatever his first name was.
Sure?
I'm positive.
It was an error of magnitude.
To be fair though, like, we don't come on the quiz on a Saturday night to win it, do we?
No, you don't come on a quiz to do a quiz, do you?
Speak for yourself.
How's everybody doing? We hope everybody's well. Welcome
Yeah.
once again Undr The Cosh and friends. Another episode.
Yet another hangover on Sunday.
Yeah, and there's probably one tomorrow as well.
That was my number one hangover on our live shows so far. I think it was lack of sleep maybe that did it.
Gets to us all eventually. Disaster struck. By the way, disaster has struck today.
It has.
Disaster has struck. I've been to my normal shop on the Can Run. No Fosters. I've gone to my backup shop. No Fosters. I've had to go 16 Budweisers.
Oh no.
So I don't know if it's going to send me down the Fosters route or the San Miguel route. So
is it stronger than Foster's or?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure what either of them are. Do you know if you drink enough of them, mate? They're all strong.
I had a shopping incident earlier.
Really?
I went for my Tesco click and collect, and last time I went, I gave him my name. He brought the shopping out. It was the wrong shopping. It was somebody else brown, and they give me all. And it was only after I'd loaded it all in the boot, I realised it was the wrong one. It was the 26 multi-pack of cheese and chive light bites that give it away. So I unloaded all again. Yeah,
nobody buys fucking light bites, does it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Nobody buys light bites.
So I went again today, loaded all my shopping in, and I thought, oh, hold on a minute, I need to check the address. Address was wrong. So I give him the old, yeah, mate, come here.
Arrogant.
I don't know. I started unloading it.
You didn't click, did you?
I didn't click. No, I didn't click. I said, this happened last time, mate. It's all wrong. I said, you've given me the wrong Chris Brownie. The address is wrong. You took it off me. He went, yeah, that's Tesco's address, mate. And just handed it me back. And I had to load it all back in it. But I'd proper give him the, come here, mate. This address is wrong. Yeah, that's our address here, mate.
So who ordered the light bites?
Put your shopping back in the boot. No, that was last time. The light bites was wrong.
Oh, right.
So basically it happened twice, but then I made a horrible error.
So you didn't what you said is you didn't realise that you were spelling out to him the Tesco's address that you'd just been to pick your shopping up at?
Yeah. Made a bit of a fool of myself again.
Yeah.
I think the first story you've told in a long time that could possibly be true.
The best thing is, they're all true, and that one's a lie. I got you. Hey, we've had. If anybody was watching the quiz back from last Saturday, we've had to cut the last 2 hours, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've got in trouble, haven't we?
The copyright,
a bit of bother.
The copyright police were in force, and it might bring the end to the karaoke finish. Unfortunately,
no, it can't.
You say, honest question: can they kick us off YouTube if we just say, "Nah, YouTube, give us
fuck off"? Yeah.
You know who I am?
Can they kick us off?
Potentially. I'm doing some digging. I mean, if anybody could give us some answers, maybe put them in the comments, help us out. We're trying our best because we like the karaoke finish, don't we?
Oh man, it's probably that Saturday night. The last 2 hours of Saturday night were the best crack I've had for 12 months.
It's the only reason I turn up.
Yeah.
To get me shirt off, or like that.
I tell you what, it's best off doing. This Saturday, you just turn up at the last 2 hours. Then just leave the rest off.
I'll leave the quiz to you.
It's a bit of a different quiz this week, though.
It is. Yeah. Yes. Anybody taking part in the quiz this week? We've got. We're doing it with prostate cancer. So we've got a couple of the guys that do the ride to Amsterdam. They're going to do a round. And,
have we got?
No, sorry, just one. But the lads that do the bike ride, who we did it with last year, they'll be coming on, doing a round. And Amsterdam Fiend. Amsterdam Fiend.
Yeah, this is what I'm struggling with. I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to hire an escort in or what. Or how do you go about Amsterdam Theme?
I'm just going to play Red Light Spells Danger all the way through the quiz.
What's an Amsterdam theme? I mean, you're not going to be able to see me close.
We'll be fine. You get a prostitute in, and I'll get the bong going.
Let's just wear our flipping cycling kit.
Yeah, you've still got yours, haven't you, John?
I don't know if I'm about to fit in mine now. I'll be honest with you. It might be like one of them, them belly tops that Vicky Pollard used to wear. Might be like one of them. Vicky Pollard off Britain, Little Britain. Yeah, I could look like Pollard.
Definitely get it on. Get it on. I mean, I must admit there were a moment when I woke up on Sunday morning, I'll be honest with you lads, and I thought, what am I doing in my life?
Oh, same here.
What, on Sunday morning?
Yeah.
That is the best party I've ever been to.
There was two.
Without going out of the house.
There was two moments during the karaoke session at the end. The one that I mentioned at the time when I was in the red all-in-one outfit and the blonde wig, and I caught eye contact with the 14, 15-year-old girl looking out of the bedroom window into my kitchen. So you see the
you want to report her?
See the 30-odd-year-old bloke. Out of context as well, no music. She don't know about a YouTube live, does she? I might be in a chat room for all she knows. And the other one was when Rose walked in after I said we'd be finished in an hour, and she just shook her head and walked back out again.
I've got a very, very understanding missus, to be fair, there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep hold of her, will you?
She's
a bloody.
She's all right, isn't she?
I'm on the shit list. One of my cousin's boyfriend was in the waiting room, and for some reason I didn't tell Matty to let him in, so he's got the hump with us. So Scotty, if you're watching it, I apologise.
It won't, mate.
It won't. Ed Sheeran.
Eh?
You've only requested Ed Sheeran, and
it weren't.
So it wasn't a big miss.
It weren't an Ed Sheeran Coldplay type of night, was it?
No.
Let's be honest about it. It weren't an Ed Sheeran Coldplay type of night.
Get out.
Ed Sheeran Coldplay Sunday morning when you just woke up, not the Saturday night party.
I don't shoot the messenger, lads.
Have you managed to get hoover all your grass up, or have you just ended up? have you foot the hoover off and just started snorting it up?
Oh, geez, cheap. Gone cheap.
Who've we got lined up today then?
We've got all sorts, absolutely all sorts.
Collective mix.
We have got first guest, Christopher.
We've got Tommy coming up first, who got in touch.
Yeah, we spoke about Tommy on Saturday night, didn't we?
Yeah, and for those who, I'll do it. I'll speak about him when he's coming in. But
next up, Daz Sampson.
Kung Fu Fighter.
Kung Fu Fighter. I mean, this is a bizarre. He's been a football manager. Poland, America, England, Eurovision. 10 top 50 hits. I'm intrigued.
It's like a Swiss Army knife, isn't it?
Jack of all trades, lads.
It's like a Swiss Army knife.
Rick Witter, with his mate, who we all know well.
We all know him very well.
Mark Crossley and Rick Witter.
I think it's going to be more of a thing when Norm is going to be taking over from us, really.
Yeah.
He's one of his heroes, isn't he?
Because we wanted to get Rick Witter on, and basically Norm said, yeah, because he knows him. Yeah, well, come on, but can I come on as well? So
Norm's fucking elbowed his way in.
And then finishing off with Darren Farley.
Yes. Ooh, by the way, he's incredible.
Yeah, he is.
If you watch his stuff, man, he's fucking brilliant. He really is.
There's so many questions I want to ask him. Like, that is a skill. Have you ever, Johnny? You're good at impressions, aren't you?
Aye. Yeah, aye. See, that's my Braveheart. You'll never take my freedom. See, that just sounded like Bruce Willis then, didn't it?
Where's everybody watching from this week?
I'm keeping Whitley Nails in business.
Oh, the gin's in. Budweiser. I'm on the old Rouge tonight. I've nothing left in the fridge.
No ciders?
There's two in there, but they're both roses, and I'm pushing my luck, so
Yeah, Johnny.
we'll go with the red wine.
Johnny, I meant to ask you. Have you heard? There's a player for Charlton that's refused to play when they come back.
Oh, the striker. I think I played with him somewhere. I don't know where, but he was a young kid when I was at a football club. I'm sure he were.
What do you think?
Cardiff.
Do you know the crack, Chris?
No, I don't. Go on, fill me in.
He's out of contract in the summer, and because the championship season's been extended, he doesn't want to play. He's told Charlton he doesn't want to play in case it scuppers a move or he gets injured or whatever at the end of his contract. And there's he's
a Charlton not offering him another contract.
No,
or is he thinking he's getting a move somewhere bigger and better?
Lyle Taylor it is, and he might not be out of contract, but he's going to get a move.
If he's saying that, it's signed and sealed, then, isn't it? He's got a deal. He's got to move somewhere.
So how do you feel about it? You know, like that you're contracted to a club, and you know for a fact you're going to get a move. You come back after this lockdown and no games. I know what you do, Johnny.
No, you're wrong. Because if he's got a contract next year, then he's out of order. If he's still got next year, he's out of order because he's if he'd have played the last 8 or 9 games towards the end of the season, he could have got injured.
Yeah, so I don't know. Somebody will have to do a fact check on it, but
when I say,
if he was up this summer, and Charlton weren't going to offer him a contract, and he's refused to play, I can accept that.
Yeah.
When I say what I mean? When I say signed and sealed, I think it's verbally done, but it's obviously not on the dotted line, otherwise they'd announce it anyway. So if it's verbally done, then you can kind of see it from his perspective. If I get injured playing, then I'm fucked from Charlton because I haven't got a contract there, and I'm fucked with a new club because he'll never get signed. So from that perspective,
just to clarify my thoughts on it, Chrissy, if he's got next year,
he's out of contract. I've just checked the thingy. He's out.
Right, he's out of contract. Then I'd do exactly the same as he has then.
And he apparently told him before lockdown that he wasn't playing.
Oh well. Now I still think you've got to play. I still think you've got to play if you've got your contract till the end of the season.
He's contracted until 30th of June.
Right, what we in now? Start of June.
So it's obviously going to go over, innit? The season's going to carry on.
Yeah, so I've got no problem with him looking after himself at all. If he got next year, he's out of order because he could have got injured just as much in the final month and a half of the season than what he could do again.
I wouldn't have thought you'd be able to play anyway without a binding contract. I know you're registered to play for the club, but if you've not got a contract to play with them, then. But
I don't know if it's more of an FA thing that it's like the FA can say, right, I tell you what, you can extend people's contracts by 2 years. They can do what they want because the FA are the bosses. But if I'd not got a contract at Charlton and they weren't going to offer me one or going to offer me what I wanted, and I got the chance to move somewhere that were going to be offering me what I wanted or a bigger club, I've got no problem with him saying I'm not playing.
He's going to be doubling his money, isn't he? And he's not. I don't think he's young. He's probably, I don't know. I'm guessing late 20s.
So I'm sure he were at a football club that I were at when he were a kid.
I'll tell you what's an underrated snack. Pork sausages.
I do like a cocktail sausage. I tell you what, are completely overrated. Mini sausage rolls. Never had a mini sausage roll yet that was nice.
Dry.
Yes.
Ever so dry.
Pointless.
Well, just
pick and choose all day.
Yeah. Not if you have fucking 18 of them, they're not pointless, are they?
Give me a Scotch egg over a sausage roll all day, every day a week.
Just put him in oven. Apparently he's 30 years old.
Yeah, there we go.
So I've got no problem with that at all.
Big piss break.
Go on, give a piss.
Off your pop.
So is he saying that? So he's up in there. He's up in 30th of June. Yeah. So I've got no problem with that then, from a player's point of view.
Hey, we've still got the Just Give In rolling across the bottom. I think have we hit $2,500? No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yes.
We've hit a lot more than that, mate. We're about 2,800 quid, I think.
Oh, unbelievable. Thank you, everybody, for the donations. If you can, keep them rolling in. All goes towards the Kilimanjaro kitty for next year.
Yes, which is going to be... I thought he took his shirt off then. I didn't realise he got a...
Did you ask for a colour match when you got your spray tan, Chris?
Nah, this is more of a mustard. Well, I don't know if you can see it in the light. But...
No, I don't think we can. It looks more like a ski.
Your face is mustard if your t-shirt's mustard.
I think Coleman's finest. Cheers, everybody anyway.
Yeah, but it is to a good night, people.
What time are we on? I think it's Tommy ready. We could get our first guest in.
But it's worth saying as well. Oh. Tommy's coming in with his boss. So there's going to be two people coming in. Because unfortunately Tommy's speech isn't great. So we basically, if you didn't see the quiz on Saturday, I spoke about the last 6 months. I got a message from Tommy in October. Big fan of the podcast, and as the conversation progressed, we got into his condition of getting diagnosed with MND, motor neurons disease, and he's become a good friend. We spoke in detail about how he deals with it, things that he's doing, charity fundraising events, which means a lot to him. He gets involved in my midnight raves, which is a positive, which is why.
So there's two. What you're trying to say is there's two of you watching Ferrick at fucking 3 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
Me and Tommy are Ferrick's biggest fans. So yeah, he's coming on with a good mate of his, and I just think it'd be good for us to speak to him.
Yeah. Sounds good. Especially
Is he around?
Pardon?
Is he in the waiting room?
Not sure.
Not yet.
Waiting
I
on
don't think he's
Matty.
here yet, but
I told him 5-2.
But like you said, I mean, it would be interesting because, like you said on Saturday, the fact that he wasn't given much time, was he, when he first was diagnosed, and then since he's had 2 kids, and it's a great story.
Yeah. He's found coping mechanisms to keep him going. He's not obviously now a father, but he did bollock us. There was one, I think it was a quiz, the quiz that I did. I finished on a one where you had to type it in. And he sent us a message saying Brownie absolutely killed us.
He went in the top 3, were he?
I don't think he was. I don't think he was anywhere near, but he bollocked us because he couldn't actually type the answer in. And we were both having a laugh, so I apologised. And
Is that Ribena, or have you just put the red wine into a plastic?
A bit of juice
Here
on
they
the
are.
side.
there are ya.
Wait a minute. Tommy's just connecting via audio, I believe. Oh, I've just seen one of his kids there, just go over his left shoulder, I believe.
John, can you hear us?
Can hear you loud and clear, guys.
Oh, nice to meet you,
How you
John.
doing, mate? You all right?
Nice to meet you all. Thanks for having us on the show.
No, thanks for coming on.
Tom asked me to get some decent background pictures, so I brought in the legend Chris Waddle.
Oh, it's a good to be with Chris Waddle. If it was just a Sheffield Wednesday picture, it wouldn't have been decent background, would it?
Semi-final 1993. Probably one of the best goals scored at Wembley. I think we'll start off with that, guys.
A bit of context, John. You were Tommy's boss, or still are Tommy's boss.
Still are. Known Tom for over 10 years. Joined the business, like I say, 10 years ago. Fortunate enough to be his boss since then. And he's been brilliant since the day he started at the business.
But he was a lazy bastard, weren't he?
I wouldn't
Sorry,
say
Tommy, your kids are in.
I wouldn't say we're lazy. I remember meeting his dad first time I met him, and his dad said, "John, just to let you know about Tom, he did some work with me, and he's not a grafter. I just let you know that he doesn't like putting his shift in and getting his hands dirty." So that was the first thing his dad said to me.
I'll tell you what, John. Tommy, you're a good salesman, mate, because you've sold half your website catalogue to me.
All right.
One with your sales tactics.
So, what were you working together beforehand?
So still working same business, PSR Solutions, recruitment, construction recruitment, and I say 10 years ago, Tom joined us as a trainee, interviewed really well, started off superbly for us in that role. Did that role for around about 3 or 4 years before, unfortunately, the diagnosis came back in October 2013, where, unfortunately, his role within the business has changed since then.
Question you.
Situation and telling people about it. How was it when he announced the fact that he was diagnosed to you and your colleagues?
I'll never forget that day, Chris. I think it was November 2013. Come into the office. He's shaking his head, so it wasn't. I know you had it in 2013 October. But he came into the office, and he'd been off for some time, and people were worried about him. He just stood up in front of the office, brave as I've seen anyone be. Just told them, guys, this is what's happened to me. I remember him using the phrase of, "These are the cards I've been dealt." And he said, "I'm going to play them." He said, "I'm going to play them. I'm going to win." He said, "I'm going to fight this and I'm going to beat it." And he's certainly doing that.
Incredible. Tommy, do you want to get your kids in?
Bye.
Hello.
Hello, sweetheart. How you doing?
You said Tom, obviously you've had kids since the diagnosis, which I suppose at the time, hi, you're all right,
Hello.
was completely unimaginable at the time.
I think what they said to him, Chris, was, I think Tom said to me, look, don't bother, I've got plans to start a family. They pretty much said to him, well, I'd advise against it. The chances of you seeing your kids growing up are going to be slim. And literally, Tom, I remember him ringing me up and telling me what they'd said. He totally didn't listen to them. Look at, he's got a beautiful wife, Leanne. He's got a daughter, Orla, and a young lad, Theo. And he's certainly not listened to the advice of those so-called medical experts.
Just give him a piss off tablet, Tom. I'll do exactly what I want to do. I'm not going to what you say. I'll do exactly what I want to do.
And that's the thing, guys. I mean, so many people have told him that he can't, and all this guy continues to do is show them that he can. And the way he goes about it, with the spirit he shows in work in particular, it's just a credit. I mean, I've never met anyone with, a bigger heart and as much courage. He comes into work 3 to 4 days a week with the most positive person we've got in the business. We don't say a lot for some of the guys, but he comes in with a smile on his face. He comes in and he gives everyone a lift. And he's so positive, and he has such an impact to everybody that knows him and works with him.
It sounds to me like he's a stubborn, because the kids are here, he's a stubborn basket. So did you know you were a stubborn bastard before? Like, could you see that in him already?
There were a few things that over the first 2 or 3 years I started seeing a bit of stubbornness. But I saw it more, John, when he got the illness. He was determined to keep coming into work. Unfortunately, his physical condition was changing over the years, and that stubbornness was never so more evident than when we kept telling him he needed to get a walker to come into work, and he kept saying, "No, I don't want a walker. I don't want a wheelchair or anything." And he came into work one day and he was a little bit unsteady on his feet. I thought he'd been at the whiskey or something. And I did ask for a word with him in one of the meeting rooms. And I remember him coming in, walking through the door and thinking he was a bit steady on his feet. And it was a Dow Boy and Trigger moment through the bar. And as the door opened and somebody held it open for him, he just literally fell straight back, pretty much as Dow Boy did through the bar, straight through the door, smashed his head totally on the floor, literally just opened his eyes. Somebody pulled him up and he just went back to work, as if nothing had happened.
To be fair, I've had the exact same moment in a nightclub. The old lift in the bar, and Avanti, I were off.
John, I believe there's also a battle for toilet duties as well.
Yeah, I've caught him in an uncompromising situation a couple of times in the gents with a couple of the blokes.
Wait a minute. John, stop there, right? Just give us 10 seconds to think about what you've said. I've caught him in uncompromising positions in the toilet with blokes on more than one occasion.
There are two guys, Callum and Tom. They're two of Tom's helpers. And they assist Tom in bathroom duties, and fair play to them. I've started doing it in the last 4 or 5 months, and let me tell you, it's quite tricky. You certainly get up close and personal and get to know the you get to know the individual a little bit better.
Is it always said? Does he always ask you to close the window so it's not cold?
He has told me on a few occasions just to be a bit more gentle when I'm getting the bottle out. It scared me the first time because I thought, oh my God. But we're starting to get the hang of it now, and everyone around the business does their bit for Tom, whether it be help make his lunch, do his bottles, his vitamin bottles, take him to the toilet. He's such a big part of the business, the PSR family, that everyone does their bit to make sure that when he comes in, he's looked after.
I know the charity work means a lot to him, and I've seen something on your Instagram, Tommy, the 12-hour bike ride. I'm not sure how far you were gone post diagnosis, but I know that. Is it Tom Bill that's doing the crowdfunder?
Yeah, I mean, Chris, Tom Bill, he does work at PSR. He's been fantastic, as have most of the staff, or a lot of the staff with fundraising. Tom's already done some form of charity event in terms of he does a lot of triathlon work. He's just about, if I can mention it at this stage, he's just about to get ready to do his next one, which is, I'm just looking at the sheet to make sure I get it right. It's a 2.4 mile open water swim. It's a 112-mile bike ride. And then it's a marathon. And he's doing that solo. And he's doing that at the start of July. And he's doing that, on behalf and for Tom. And that's crowdfunder.co.uk/the battle fund.
John, Mackie's going to put the links in the YouTube chat.
Thank you.
And I know Tom's got a little business going with the oils and stuff to help people. And I think he's going to put that in as well. So
fantastic, guys. The charity and the fundraising are absolutely vital to Tom, as you can imagine. He needs to get his private medical treatment from America. And it also goes towards supporting his family, alterations in and around the house, and to make sure his two kids and his wife have the best lifestyle possible from all this fundraising.
Yeah.
It's mate, it's an inspiration to me, by the way.
Yeah.
An absolute inspiration to me, because you can go one of two ways, I imagine. When you get diagnosed with MND or whatever you get diagnosed, you one of two ways. You can crawl up your own ass, or you can think, fuck it, and I'm gonna. Sorry for the language, Tom. You can one of two ways, can't you?
Yeah.
You can either go like into your shell and think, and feel a bit sorry for yourself, or you go Tommy's way.
Keep proving everybody wrong.
Yeah,
and it's inspirational to go that way. It's incredible. It really is.
It's that spirit and resilience that he's got, which is why he's here today, and he's got everything going for him, and he's got friends. Look at him with his family, and his outlook on life, guys, rubs off on everybody around him. He is the biggest inspiration we've got at work, and I'm sure his friends and family listening here will also testify to that. He's just a total inspiration for everyone.
But
apparently, Tom, Ry Allen apparently says, Bob Mountain says you were a player in your day, so you used to play a bit of football.
He played a bit, guys. Ball playing centre half is how he used to describe himself to me. Well, he hasn't got a broken nose, so what does that say about his centre half ability?
He didn't like anything. That's what it says.
I think he preferred passing it, and I think Tom was back in the day. He was at Tamworth semi-pro. He played a lot at Boldmere St Michael's, a Sutton Coldfield a non-league team. I think they're step 5 or 6, and I do remember once him saying to me he was struggling to get in the Boldmere side. He's a legend there, and he's been there. He'd been there for 15 odd years. Anyway, I was looking after a team called Brockton Step 6, and he said, "John, I've heard you're letting a few goals in. I'll come and play at the back and shore up the defence for you." It didn't quite go to plan, guys. First game we played away, he went forward with the ball, lost it. It took him ages to get back, an eternity. I think we lost 3-0. The centre forward scored 2. The second game, he said to me, "John, don't worry, it's just a blip. I'll sort it today." And we played Atherstone, and they're a team from near Nuneaton in Warwickshire. And it was not an easy place to go back in the day, quite hostile. And Tom had an absolute nightmare. I think we were 3-0 down after 15 minutes, he'd given them 2 goals. The centre forward had skinned him twice again. He ended up getting set off in the match, kicking out. I think we lost 5-2. He was at fault for 3 or 4 of the goals. I got sent off as well for abusing the linesman. And I didn't know at the time, guys, that he had motor neurone. I didn't know at the time. And, you know, joking apart, it's probably one of the reasons why he couldn't keep up with the centre forward.
Did you bollock him for being shit? And he's got this illness and you bollocked him for being shit. That's scandalous by you, mate.
He worked with me, and I just said, Tom, I don't think it's working out. We're not going to need you for the next match. I sent him back to Boldmere. Little did I know he was ill.
Are you a big fan of the podcast, Tom?
Massive. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
you enjoy it, mate.
Johnny, I look forward to my debriefs. We have a debrief every Tuesday night, Wednesday morning about who had on, and we dissect each episode.
Chris, I think, you know, credit to Tom in terms of how he's pushed this. Not a lot of people at work were aware of it when it first started. And Tom used to come in and he'd go on about it all the time. A few of them used to listen to another podcast. I won't mention it on here. That also talks
not that fucking Peter Crouch one. Like he does my tits. It's not that Peter Crouch one, is it?
No, I think the one with Bullard in. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Magic. But anyway, he pushed it, guys, so much that there's probably 10, 12 people in the office, more maybe now, that swear by it. So he's done his bit in terms of raising the profile of the show.
I know he keeps asking for commission, John. I'm still not having it.
Brownie, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, even though his role in the business is slightly changed, I tell you what, he's still got that business now in terms of how he can make a few quid. It's not with his football tips, I'll tell you that. They're absolutely horrendous.
Oh, brilliant.
He's got some shocking tips, and I'm sure you won't mind me saying his dress sense used to be right there. He used to lead the way. It was like the only way is Essex. The only way is Sutton Coldfield when he used to come in the office. He's dressed. I mean, look at him now. He's got his cap on back to front.
You're all right by me, Tommy. You're all right by me.
He's trying to be down with the kids.
By the way, I just want to just give a shout out to Alfie Toms. Alfie, it's your nephew, Tom. He's watching. And I'm sure he's enjoying it.
Well, to be fair, I think, John, a lot of credit to yourself as well in terms of keeping Tommy working. When obviously when he's trying to get through this and prove everybody wrong, but as a business owner and to give him that opportunity to keep working is fantastic from yourself as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the actual owner of the business. I'm the ops director, Chris. But as a business, we made it quite clear from day dot that we was going to support Tom all the way through this. The business owner, James Sanders, is stuck by his word, and we've supported Tom throughout. We will continue doing that.
Brilliant.
He's, like I said, massive part of the business. He's loved to bits, and we will continue standing by him, supporting him through this period, and of course all the time he needs it.
Yeah. Well, the links are in the comments. Mackie's put in for the donations and for the CDB business on the side as well.
It's a lovely drop.
A lovely drop.
That is appreciated. I mean, Tom,
you've ended up being my drug dealer, Tom. You have. All I'm doing is trying to sort my knees out. You're my drug dealer.
Wanted to mention about Stan Petrov as well, guys. He's played a massive part in supporting Tom throughout. Obviously, Stan, unfortunately, he had his own problems a few years ago, and Stan's been a big support, raising the profile of Tom's golf day and the Battle Fund, and being there for Tom, and and helping Tom mentally through what he's facing. So, wanted to mention that because that's been really important for him.
And I know as well that Stephen Darby, I mentioned it on Saturday, But Steve and Darby got diagnosed at the end of last year, and Tom's been helping them through it. He's been there nearly every day for him, and Tom, I just want to say, like John said, you're an inspiration to us all, mate. And
Yeah, 100%.
I love speaking to you.
100%. Proving everybody wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. It's and we'll keep trying to churn out the podcast to keep you entertained. You know, when you're going to work and skiving off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, skiving off. Yeah. No, I mean, really appreciate you having us on, guys. Not just for Tom, but to raise the awareness of this. It's unfortunately so many people are getting this illness, and the more we can raise the awareness of it, the better chance we've got of fighting it and beating it. And to have Tom on this podcast like this is absolutely fantastic, and we really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you both for coming on.
It's made me research it and try and find out a bit more, because I watched Doddy Weir on Sports Personality of the Year, and I was partly in tears watching that. And it's one of them things that you want to learn more about, and to speak to Tom as much as I do, it's brilliant to see that he's still got that positive mindset while still helping others that are in a similar position. Yeah.
And Tommy, right? You know on the debriefs, Tommy, if we've been shit, you'll make sure you tell him, won't you? On a Wednesday morning, you make sure you give us both battles.
He does.
If you think we're shit, you tell us.
He doesn't hold back, guys. I mean, he goes around everybody in the office telling them when they've when they need their haircut, or if they put a few pounds on. He don't hold back. He lets them know. So you can't knock him for that.
Hey, Tommy, if I put a couple of pounds on during lockdown, can you tell?
Your phone would be buzzing all the time if we were giving you the heads up.
I can't believe he's just fucking nodded. Yeah. Put a few pounds in lockdown, mate.
I believe we've got a Sheffield Wednesday quiz for you, John.
Well, Tom texted me about 20 minutes before he was coming on.
Oh, don't be making excuses already.
Fair enough. I'm ready for it. Could be one of the worst moments I'll go through, but fire it at me as and when you need, guys.
1 minute, quick fire.
I'm sure you've had some worse moments, like when you were younger with the young ladies.
Are you ready, Chris?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, here we go.
Who are the club mascots?
Ozzy and Ollie Owl.
Correct. To the nearest thousand, what is the capacity of Hillsborough?
39,400.
Correct. Who was the manager before Gary Monk?
Steve Bruce.
Correct. What animal is on the club crest?
Owl.
Correct. Who was the club's leading scorer this season?
Steve Fletcher, 13 goals.
Correct. Who was the club record signing?
Jordan Rhodes.
Yes. How many times have Sheff Wed won the FA Cup?
2 or 3. I'm going to go 3.
3. What is their current league position?
15th.
What colour is this season's away kit?
The away kit, it's green.
Yeah. The brand name on the front of this season's shirt?
Chanzari.
Yeah. True or false, Sheffield Wednesday played in the first ever Premier League?
It is false.
True. Who was the club's all-time leading scorer?
Is it Andy? Is it Scott?
Johnny Fantham.
There we go. That time up. How many did we do, John?
10.
10.
Very good, by the way, John.
Solid. 10.
I thought we were. I couldn't remember if we found the members of the league or not. 1991, but never mind.
You put yourself in second there, John. That's more than respectable.
To be fair, there were a couple. Where you deserve bonus points. You actually said the exact capacity.
Showboating a bit with Steve Fletcher.
Yeah.
They said the Fletcher how many goals he scored. But unfortunately, we can't give you points for them.
No,
no bonus
I wouldn't
points.
I wouldn't have got the leading goals, the all-time goal scorer. I wouldn't have got, but I should have got founder members of the Premier League. I keep going on about it to my mates because they don't realise that we were pretty good back in the day.
Yeah, but you had your day. You're one of them teams that had your day, aren't you? But now you're really struggling.
Like a lead.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with any of you. We had our day. We will have our day again very soon. But at the moment, we need to we probably need to, quieten down because our noisy neighbours are putting us in their shadow.
To be fair, you need to. You could do it like the amount of wages that you're paying. Like you should be right up there.
Tommy, are you a Villa fan or Birmingham?
Yeah,
Oh, he's a diehard Villa fan, guys.
You had a look at Grealish with that cap off then. That's right, slick back.
Yeah, he does know a lot of the old school Villa guys. I think he keeps in touch with them. When
So,
I say
Tommy, right? It's a tough question, this, I'll be honest with you. So if Aston Villa go down this season, which is a good chance that they will, would you be raging if Grealish fucked off to another club?
no.
Or will you just say fair play? He's done what he can for us.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well,
So
brilliant, lads. Well, I'd say we appreciate you coming on, to be fair, because it's a fantastic story, and just keep fighting and proving everybody wrong, Tommy. Like the lad said, absolute inspiration. An absolute inspiration.
John, I think I can speak on behalf of everybody watching. You do an unbelievable job. Just being supportive of him, and you spoke so well. So
thanks, Chris. I mean, all the credit goes to this individual. You know, I've never met anyone with a bigger heart. Like I've said 5 or 6 times on this call, he is a total inspiration to anyone that meets him, and he's one of life's winners. And it's just a credit to know him.
Yeah.
Keep winning, Tom.
Incredible.
Ferrick's on at 11:30, mate, so I'll see you on the dance floor, yeah?
Cheers, guys. Really appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on. You take care, both of you. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
See you, lads.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Where are they going? Are they going?
Bye.
You're going to give us a wave, sweet. Oh, no, she's gone.
Next guest is ready. Lined up.
Miss Breck.
Well, right, I'll tell you what, I'll
You hold the fort, Johnny. Just sing us a song, will you?
She's just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
What a fella, by the way. What a fella. And
Both.
Yeah.
Both, by the way. Tommy, inspirational and fair play that he kept his job up and all that. And
because it's very easy for anybody to not take that option of keeping everything.
Yeah.
It's very, very.
It's probably the most serious start we've ever done to anything, I think. But in a fucking incredible way as well, it was serious, but it was incredible as well, weren't it?
Well, the next guest is ready and waiting in the green room. Should we let him in?
Yes, why not? I'm looking forward to your intro here, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Here he is. Oh, looking good. Here we go. Our next guest of the evening. He's a rapper.
Wait till audio. Wait till audio starts. Wait till Daz's audio. Oh, can he?
He's a rapper. He's a singer-songwriter. He's a record producer. He's a football manager and a scout. He's managed in England, Poland, USA, whilst also squeezing in top 10 50 hits and representing the UK Eurovision Song Contest in Athens. I mean, how you bring all that is possible is bizarre to me, but it is Daz Simpson. I can't talk. I'm chewing on my tongue.
Fucking name right, for God's sake.
Daz Sampson. There we go.
How many fucking hits have you
I
had?
bit my tongue then. I bit my tongue. I couldn't get the words out.
Oh, lads, it's fucking nice to be here, lads. It's nice to be here.
Derek Stevenson, welcome to the show.
Oh, by the way, bit of housekeeping. It's 14 top 20 hits.
Is it?
Yeah, and 3 number ones. Do your fucking research.
Yeah,
We've got-
I'm trying. I bit my tongue, man. I bit my tongue.
Yeah. Chris, you got it wrong with Robbie Williams.
I know.
So what chance have we got, Daz?
By the way, lads, seriously, it's a pleasure to be here. I mean, you have provided, lockdown's been shit for me. I've lost so many things, but you have provided, I'm sure I speak for a lot of people, some of the best televisual entertainment I have seen in a long, long time. And there's 2 moments I've just got to speak about. To have one of the best performers, the A-list singer, Robbie Williams, on your show, and for Parky, dressed as a woman, to go quick piss right in the middle of a fucking interview. I mean, that's just, I've never seen anything like it. And the second one was when Brownie, I'm watching, I'm thinking, he's got something up his sleeve here, and he picked up that fucking grass to put Parky in his place. Absolutely. That was absolutely brilliant. But you guys, right, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not blowing smoke at your ass before we get started. You are going right to the very top. Right to the very top. I'll tell you why. Because the way entertainment is now, it's all changing. And this is the new entertainment. You remind me a lot, and Brownie, you'll get this. You remind me a lot of, when a record comes up and it just blows people away, and it's so fucking simple, like Daft Punk, One More Time, or Eiffel 65, I'm Blue, or even one of mine, You're Out of Touch. It just comes, right? And it just blows people away. And it's so fucking simple that people get on it. And this is what it reminds me of. It's very much like TFI Friday on Channel 4 years ago. So I'm going to make a prediction here. And Derek Okora used to be a very good friend of mine, so I know a bit of the psychic world.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I reckon if you carry on going the way you're going, you'll be on 100K subs by Christmas, because it's real and people love real. That's why I got voted to go to the Eurovision, because all the fucking van drivers and the taxi drivers were beeping me because, normally Eurovision's a little bit camp, and I was just like, beer drinking guy out of Stockport, and that's why I went. And if you can relate to the common man, which what you boys are doing, you're going to blow this out of the water. Now I'm going to pull my tongue back because it's turning brown. Well done.
I hope, to be fair, Daz, it's nice though. It's nice. It's a lovely feeling.
Bend over, lad. Bend over.
I tell you what, though, mate, I was very excited about it, because when I was 14, Kung Fu Fighting, Bus Stop, was the track that, when you rewound to learn the next line, rewind, that was my track when I was 14.
Interesting story, Chrissy. That song came out of Ritzy in Bolton. Remember that club?
Oh, do I? I was a regular.
Because Bus Stop was me and 2 guys, and one of the other guys was the DJ in that club, and that's where it all came from. And we made that record in an afternoon, and it went on to sell 1 million copies. I mean, the ex-wife took most of it, but it doesn't matter about that.
She took 750,000 of the bastards, but I didn't do it.
How did it work, the Bus Stop thing? Because obviously you were taking massive hits and adding your own touch to it, but how did it work in terms of the royalties? Like, how was the split divided? Was there a lot of profit in it for you?
I remember Carl Douglas at Top of the Pops coming to me, right, shaking me hand and said, "Thanks for that £1 million, Daz."
There you go.
I didn't get that. I can assure you of that.
Yeah.
Well, she'd have got 500 grand to the fucker anyway, wouldn't she?
Yeah. But, in terms of royalties, we made our money through going out touring, like Brownie. Remember Bentley's, Sunderland?
Yeah.
Yeah. Parky, Japanese Whispers, Hedonism. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Going to all those places where we made, and obviously Come Through was an international hit, and it was also in a movie as well. And it just, seriously, I went from DJing in like a Japanese Whispers type of place over in Stockport to global travel for like 4 or 5 years, literally in the space of 3 months. We did the record in November 97, and by May 98, it sat in number 1 in most of the charts and top 10 in England. So it happened that quick.
So how does it work? Do you just go to the original artist and say, "Can we do a cover of your song"?
That's exactly how it works, Parky.
Yes or no?
That's how it works.
You'll
Back
get
in those
X
days-
amount of what? Yeah.
Yeah, back in those days, mate, it was really credible to get the original artist, because I had a hit with Glenn Campbell, Rhinestone Cowboy, and to get him, we stayed at his house and everything. That back in those days, 20 years ago, it was really credible to get the original artist. Now it's not. It's not. You just get some page 3 girl to sing the chorus, and that's what they want. But back in those days, that's how it worked. And I remember being in the office of the record company and saying, why don't we just ring him up? And we just rung him up, and Carl Douglas come on board, and it just happened so fast. But like, I was trying for 5 years to have a hit, and I had various, I was working with Simon Cowell, and before Simon, I knew Simon Cowell before you knew him, like you know him now. He was just an A&R guy. And Tom Watkins, who had Pet Shop Boys and E17, and he managed me for a while. And when I moved out of London, which I couldn't act, and I came back over after 6 months, we were trying for a long time, but Kung Fu was a throwaway thing that I did in an afternoon, and it was the one that actually opened up the gates.
Yeah. So after all that effort, but then it's just that one moment of not what you really expected to bring the fruits after all your work.
Chrissy, I knew it was going to be a hit because I'd spent years being I've been a mobile DJ since I was 13. I sacked my football career off because of that, because I always knew I was going to make it in music. Some people say, well, you haven't made it. And technically, I haven't reached the heights of what I should have done, but I've had a lot of hit records and I've toured the world, and it's opened a lot of doors. And because of my success in the music business, it allowed me to concentrate on my true love, which was football. Unfortunately, when I was a teenager, it wasn't my true love. DJing and stuff was. But you think about it, Latvia, Estonia, Slovenia, Czechoslovakia, I've been to all these places, and we land there and we've got fuck all to do in the day. We go and watch a game. So it's all education. Yeah. It's and most of the lads in Bus Stop and all the other bands that I've been in used to go, what's that fucking sad bastard going watching a football game for? And he could be having a massage. Do you know what I mean?
I can imagine you wait for a fucking massage in Estonia. Yeah. Dirty bastard.
I wanted to ask you about that. I mean, you basically put it in words then, but when you went into Eurovision, and like you said, that the campness of Eurovision. I mean, I love Eurovision. I think it's a good laugh. But when the raggy lad,
fucking weirdo, that's why. Yeah.
But when the raggy lad from Stockport turned up, how did they take you? Because they don't like us anyway. Let's be honest. Nil.
You're right there. I knew we weren't going to win, right, for a start. And I remember Wogan, and what a great bloke. You have to understand, I'm from a council estate in Stockport, and suddenly I'm with Wogan. He's an institute. You know what I mean?
With Wogan.
He said to me, you're not going to win, don't you? I said, of course I fucking know I'm not going to win, but what do you want me to do? What we're going to do, we're going to get battered. And the thing is, you're absolutely right, because it was like the British in that corner and every other fucker in that corner, and they didn't like us. So what I did, I don't smoke or take drugs or anything like that, but I like a swallow now and again. And so I put this robe on and started acting like Puff Daddy, and suddenly all these fucking TV crews are following us, and I got this reputation of being arrogant when it wasn't. I was trying to get attention and believe, and I was saying, yeah, of course we're going to fucking win. I knew we weren't going to win. I knew I was going to win I knew I was going to win the song was good enough to win the English heat, the making your mind up thing to go.
To get into it.
Why I put 20 grand on myself to win, and it came in at 33-1. You do the maths, Sparky.
Fucking hell, Brian. You should have a better cap than that, surely.
Thanks, mate. So but what came from that? I mean, after Eurovision, I got offered all the big shows, the Jungle, I got offered all that, and I didn't want to do it because I wanted to go back to United Nations. I mean, I wanted to. I'd waited a long time to DJ at the David Guetta level, which is what we were at with United Nations across Europe. It was like we were doing like fucking stadiums and like beaches with 20,000, and some of the stories I can tell you about all that lot. I mean, Jesus, it's like schoolboy's dream. But what I would say is, let me ask you a question, Brownie and Parkin. Would you swap the last 5 years of your playing career to have played in that World Cup semi-final against Croatia?
Yeah.
Well, I'd have swapped the last fucking 12, never mind the last 5.
I don't know. I seen you against Salford a few years ago. You were still notching. You weren't too bad. You were all right. It's like a fucking earthquake when you ran, but you did all right.
No, and I've not even insulted any of his fucking music ever.
Hey, you've had to go at the what? Anyway.
Oh, mate. It's like you're on fucking MASH.
That is what.
MASH.
That is what the Eurovision did, because people told me, I got the Eurovision because of United Nations. They came to us and said, would United Nations write a song for Eurovision? And my management and label at the time went, oh no, fuck that, it's a killer. And I went, oh no, hang on, I've got just the record. And I wrote Teenage Life for Blazing Squad. Remember them?
Yeah,
Blazing Squad?
Yeah.
And they'd been in my studio and recorded it, and they got dropped, and I just left it on the shelf, and I thought, there's a fucking song. So I sent it to my manager, Joe, and he sent the version with me on it and sent it to the BBC. They came back and said, right, they want it. And I went, right, you better get on to Blazing Squad. He went, no, I've sent your version, they want you. And that is basically how it happened. And that's it. So I wouldn't change a single thing apart from, obviously the result. But it's like, for me, right, I got my football career taken away because I was a dickhead and I wasn't really into it at the time. And I got injured. Ironically enough, at Bellevue, Brownie. You played at Bellevue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that came about, it was the equivalent of the World Cup. That was like a World Cup for me. I know it might sound a bit cheesy, but it was, because it's this bubble that I can't describe it. Seriously, I mean, I remember, people knocking on my hotel room door at 2:00 in the morning. Wrong sex. No, not tonight. So there was a lot of people fucking, it was the attention you got was just incredible. And of course, when you don't do so well, it is the curse of Eurovision. Because I've had to, since Eurovision, there's been no other artist that's gone on and had a hit on their own right. I have, but I've had to do it under a different name because it's the curse.
The thing is, I was thinking that because the Eurovision's cursed with other countries only voting for other countries and stuff. So you obviously knew that before you signed up. You knew that was coming. Do you believe you could?
It's more of a fucking political thing than out, isn't it? It doesn't matter which has got best song.
Yeah.
No, but Parky,
It doesn't matter what the best song is.
Parky, if I offered you 10 grand a week to go and have another season in the Conference North, would you do it?
Oh, I don't know. Can I keep doing the Undr The Cosh? Oh no.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, the check that
I'd fuck these two fuckers off within 10 minutes.
Right.
We talk about loyalty.
The thing is, right, we all, you played football, and you said something that was very poignant the other day, that players who don't play for their hometown team are basically playing for the dough, all right? So making music and DJing, as much as it is a passion, and writing songs. I mean, I've wrote some songs for people and you won't even know, because I've had to do what we call a buyout, because they don't want to be attached to my background. It's why I can't get a job as a football manager in this country, because abroad, 62% win rate, they won't even fucking touch me in this country because of my background, because I'm known for being what I do. So my point being in that is if someone offers you this amount of money to risk your career, you're going to fucking do it. You're going to do it. Of course you are.
Well, you've got it, haven't you, then? You've got it, though, haven't you? You've got it, haven't you? You know what I mean?
Daz.
Yes, mate.
Talking about your football management career.
Yeah.
I believe that you might have the shortest ever managerial spell in the world.
Ever.
Yeah, and Brownie, it's purely because of Kung Fu Fighting and the Eurovision. Because when I came back from the USA in early 2016, I was applying for jobs and just not getting anywhere. And they were giving, non-league scene, mate, it's the biggest mafiosa going. If you've took a side 16th in the Northern Premier League for 3 seasons on the run, you get a job before me. Simple. So basically there was this club that I won't say who they were, but they were bottom of the Northern Premier League, all right, at the time. And I went watching them a few times, and it was really simple to see why they weren't winning the game. They just weren't a fucking team, you know what I mean? So I was talking to the secretary, because I was scouting at the time. So I was talking to the secretary, and I knew the job was going to come up. And the next game I went to him, and I said, look, I can save you. So straight away, I'll bring these 4 players in who were from a higher division. I said, and I'll tell you what, I'll get them sponsored so their wages are paid. It won't cost the club a penny. I'll save the club, because I needed to do it to put my stamp in it and be able to, get, because I wanted to get back
on the football ladder, like.
Yes, yeah. So come for an interview. Went for an interview, blew them away, give them the names of the players, give them the phone numbers, got them all signed on, 4 players, all from a higher league. You don't have to worry about the wages and stuff. we've got at the interview, we've got a training session tonight. You've got the job. Why don't you come down and have a look? No problem. I've got the job. Yeah, I got the job. So I got onto my press because press is everything. You know, it is. It's everything in the game. You know yourself. Press is everything. So I got onto my press guy. Right, I'm going to be the manager tomorrow. Went to the training session. This was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Training session was 7:30. Stuck around. Didn't take the session. Just looked around. You know what I mean? Put my arm around a few players and all that. You know, because managing players, right? It's easy. It really is easy. You just, because I've got a degree in psychology, so you just got to know what they want to hear to get the best out of them. There's no good shouting.
Empathy, and just blowing smoke up their ass. Yeah. Really, most of them.
Managers, right? It's either most of them are egomaniacs, like that Brownie who you don't like. Not you, Brownie, Phil Brown. I've seen him a few times. They're all egomaniacs. You know, and they think it's them that do it. No, it's not. It's the fucking players on the pitch. All you've got to do is organise into a shape and into a pattern and make the most, like you, Parky. If I was managing you, I would say, don't go and chase the fucking fullback down. Stay central and just do what you're good at. You know what I mean?
The manager who told me to do X, Y, Z, but I did exactly what you said. Just stay in the middle and just... Right.
Well, Gary Mills, I know for a fact, let you play the way you wanted to play. To a certain extent, he played you at your best. He give you a little bit of license. He give you a little bit of freedom, is what I'm saying.
But it were more off the picture, Millsy.
Exactly.
Just do whatever you need to do to be fit on a Saturday or a Tuesday.
This is one of the most surreal conversations I've ever had. We've gone from entering Eurovision contest to how to manage a football team in the Northern Premier League.
But Brownie, let me tell you something. Anyone who thinks you play football with your feet are fucking barking at the wrong tree. It's here. It's played here. And unfortunately,
a lot of it is, I agree.
It took me a long, long time because when I was playing at City and when I went for my little spell at County, I was a sprinter and I just thought, knock it past the fullback, gets the byline and whip it in. There's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot more to it than that. It's all in the mind, which is why, you know, I was listening to Jordan Stewart. Is it Jordan Stewart? He was saying something the other day about the tunnel at Watford. And he's right. You know, Wimbledon weren't a very good side, but they finished fucking 4th in the Premier League, for God's sake. It's all in mind. Anyway, long story short, after training, I'm round, got good guys. We were playing top of the league on the Saturday. I get home from training. The guy who gave me the job, we've got a bit of a problem. One of the board members has seen you at training and recognises you from your pop star days and doesn't think you can do the job. So unfortunately, we have to sack you.
But after 8 hours?
After 8 hours. And they went down that evening and they got stuffed 6 on the Saturday.
What was it? How did you respond to that?
It's a family show, Brownie. But, you know...
Play football.
I'm here all night going about it and the people going, what's she shot? Because I'm so... Right. You know, at the end of the day, I've had to go up. In fact, because of lockdown, I should have been going to Asia in April. I got a job managing again because over in Asia, no fucker knows who I am. And they go off what I've done out there because I've worked out there before. But here, I can't even get a job at the freaking Northern Premier League. And that's pretty much one up from Sunday football. So what can you do?
That's got me. That's got me. Oh, Daz, mate, that's got me. That's fucking killer.
Daz, I want to talk about your old DJing days. Is it right you had a few hairy moments?
Fucking hell, yeah. I mean, again, well, I've DJ'd at gunpoint in Russia. I made an arse of myself. When I first got famous, well, when I first had a hit, it's all very new because it's like suddenly I remember walking out of a piss pot once and the fucking Spice Girls are stood there. I mean, it's the Spice Girls back in the day when they were like the biggest thing in the world. I mean, they're like a foot away from me. I'm thinking I shouldn't be here. But when I made a real ass of myself was, I don't know if anyone's been to BBC TV Centre. You know,
Manchester.
No, it's where the old one in London where.
Oh, no, yeah.
But basically, it's a building. It's a really weird building. It's got all these like covens. Anyway, so I don't know what I was doing, but I was there once doing a show. I think it was Top of the Pops. And we're in the green room and fucking everyone's there. You know, just, you know what it's like, Parky, when you're dying for a piss.
I do. I thought you meant, do I know what it's like being in the green room with all these fucking singers?
Oh, you know what it's
I've
like
never
when
been
you're
in
down
with
for a
them.
piss, right? You just want a piss. I walked in this shit house, and there's all these fucking ponytail brigades giving it. I can't be fucking arsed with that. So I goes and walks off and finds another piss pot. Walks in this bog, brilliant. I'm dying for a piss. Stands at the cubicle, just about to fucking piss. I'm bursting out, feeling where you're dying. Next thing, fucking Snoop Dogg walks in. I kid you not. I kid you not. Snoop Dogg walks in. You know, like jingle jangle. Yeah, man. Stands next to me at the piss pot party. Stands fucking next to me at the piss pot.
Do you have a
Are you
pee?
crossing swords?
Brownie, you're going to send me off here, sub. You know that bit where you can't piss because you're just like,
Nervous?
I can't piss.
Stage fright?
I couldn't piss. Anyway, he's a fucking tall guy. So I'm looking up like that. All right. And he looks down like that. And he looks, he doing homes like that. Like, you know, what language is he talking? I couldn't understand a word he was saying. He's like mumbling away. And then obviously you're going to, aren't you? You're going to. So the eye line goes down and there, a fucking horse's phallus. I swear to God. Unbelievable.
Well, incredible.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so he said, you know, so he finishes and like, you know, he said, where are you from, man? What are you doing here? So I'm from Manchester. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Snoop's a massive footy fan. He's a massive football fan, Snoop.
Sports
He went,
everything.
oh, Manchester, David Beckham. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I know Becks and all. I fucking never met him in my life. You know? Anyway, here's the moment, right? So I'm excited because it's Snoop Dogg. I mean, that's like pop royalty. What I didn't realise is when I was turning around and speaking to him, the old Hampton was still out, wasn't it?
Yours.
I hope you pissed on him. I really hope you pissed
No,
on
but
him.
you look down and you think, I think you better put that away. Next thing, this big tank walks in, and I thought I was going to get fucking battered. He went, and Snoop goes, it's cool, man's cool, dude's cool, like that. I mean, he's like, there's butter dripping off him, he's so smooth. You know what I mean? Anyway, he says, hey, come back and chill, man. So I'm like walking down, still bursting for a piss, mind. I'm walking down the fucking corridor behind Snoop. Goes into his dressing room, and it's in my book that I've got coming out at Halloween. It's like a set of a porn movie. People will go, oh, he's bullshitting. I'm telling you, he's got like the plushest, you know, green room thing, and it's like there's just women everywhere. There's just 30 odd people in there, and I'm the only white dude in there. So they're all taking the piss. They're all Americans. Like, let this guy talk. You know.
Daz, quit piss me.
Oh, fuck. I know I've made it now, Anna. Anyway, the long story short is that he's actually, we're talking away about just Manchester United. I'm not a United fan, but we're talking away about Manchester United. And he gave me this like bracelet and he said, yeah, take that. It might help you piss next time. And I've still got it.
Offered you a lucky charm.
Lucky charm. And I walked out and that was the Snoop Dogg moment. I mean, no one believes me to this day, but it's the truth. Lads in the band said, where have you been? I said, I have just been in Snoop Dogg's dressing room. No one would have it.
I was.
I believe you're a big podcast fan, Daz.
Say again?
A big podcast fan.
Who is? Snoop?
No, Glenn Little's his favourite.
Ah. Yeah. And another one, very, very quickly. First time at Top of the Pops, which was filmed at Elstree, which is where EastEnders was filmed. And it was May the 20th. I still remember it because it was the same day as Eurovision so many years later. And Fat Les was on, you know, Vindaloo. And they recreated all the thing. And do you know what? Guess who's coming up next? Rick Witter. He was there.
Oh, yes.
Remember him? Shed 7 were on. Anyway, we're in this room. Carl Douglas, few dancers, few people knocking around. You couldn't see because of the Jamaican woodbine that was going on. Now, I don't touch any of that. Like I say, I'm a desperado, man. So, next thing, door knocks. Fucking Lionel Richie walks in. I swear to God. Again, I'm sat on the chair. Like, it's just smoke everywhere. And he says he knows Carl Douglas from the 70s. So remember? And he says, hey, man, can I get in on this? So me, like a dick, few drinks on me, stands up and goes, "Hello, Lionel. Is it me you're looking for?"
Oh, come on, man. You had your moment.
Mate, I've come into the last bit of the story, but
He turns round, looks at me as if I'm dog shite and goes, "Yeah, Carl, I'll catch you later another time," and fucking walks out. The rest of the band are fucking digging me, you big mouth bastard. Shut up. There you go.
that's sorry, mate. That weren't actually set up. I really did need a piss.
It's all right, Parky lad. Don't worry about it.
Daz, I've done you some questions today, mate. I've gone easy on you, I think.
Okay.
But we're going to test. You're a Stockport County fan, by all accounts.
Yes.
A minute on the clock.
Are you reading them out, Chrissy?
Chrissy, Norm's just trying to ring me, so I'll mute myself.
Yes, no problem. Here we go.
I'll count them.
A minute on the clock. Stockport County. Here we go. Who is the current assistant manager?
Dave Conlon.
Correct. To the nearest 1,000, what is the capacity of Edgley Park?
10,008.
Who is the club's record signing?
Moore. Ian Moore.
Correct. Brand logo on the front of the shirt this season.
Pioneer Group.
Away shirt, Chris.
Away shirt.
Oh, I haven't got a clue.
What colour is the away shirt?
White.
Correct. Final league position last season?
7th or 8th.
7th. Club mascot?
Vernon Bear.
Peggy the Pig.
It's Vernon Bear!
Which former striker left to join Hull before playing his trade in the Premier League with Norwich in his later years?
Is it Pilkington?
Alby. Who paid a record 1.8 million for striker Alan Armstrong? Correct.
Middlesbrough.
Who wore the number 10 shirt this season?
Osborne.
Correct. How many is that, Chris?
7.
7.
7? 7?
Yeah, it's a good return. Look
not
at some
bad,
of the numbers
7.
we've getting. It's a good return.
Fucking 7.
Mid-10.
That Vernon Bear, stewards on that one, lads. That's Vernon Bear.
Who've we
My
got?
daughter only high-fived him 2 weeks ago. So
Peggy
it must be
Pig.
that.
Peggy
That could be
Pig.
my fault. I just Googled Stockport County mascot and I got Peggy the Pig.
Fucking Peggy the Pig.
Who knows?
Well,
boys.
Daz, I could.
Yeah,
that was a whirlwind. Thank you very much.
It's all right,
Yeah.
boys. Honestly, it's an absolute privilege to be part of it, and I can't stress enough. Keep doing what you're doing because it's so entertaining and it's so real, and you represent so well. Like Parky's like a character out of Alvida's Ain't Pet. It reminds me of that character Oz. Brilliant. He represents the common man. You got Brownie who thinks a lot and he goes into both camps. And obviously, Chris, you represent the fans and you ask the fans questions. Honestly, I see things coming up that really work. And that's why, ask yourself this. If you went to Robbie Williams' people, you wouldn't get him. He's coming to you. That's how good you are. Think about that.
As we appreciate that, mate, honestly.
Yeah.
We do
And
appreciate
good luck climbing Kilimanjaro, boys. Good
Yes.
luck to you.
Oh, fucking
Cheers for
hell,
coming
fire
on,
out. We're
Thank
going to
you. Good
need it,
luck.
mate. We're going to need it.
Good
Daz,
luck for whatever
talk
you're doing
about
next.
it.
If there's any chairman watching, I am available.
Daz is your man.
See you,
Daz
boys.
is your man. See you later,
Daz,
mate.
top man.
See you later.
Incredible, mate.
Cheers.
Top man, thank you. Thank you. Right, mate. I've just
Last
said
one.
Norm on.
Nah.
No, we've got 3 more. We've got Norm.
No, I was on about
You've
his
got
sausages.
Rich.
I was on about his sausages.
Oh, right. I need wait a minute. Just let you know. I need to let Matty know. Just to message Darren Farley that we're going to be running 10, 15 minutes late. So,
What's happening?
mate, we should have been. Norman Witter should have been on at 25 to. It's fucking 5 to.
That was a
No
whirlwind.
one just phoned me. He says that he's taking fucking piss at you or what? Right, I'm the Cosh and friends, Matty. Right, I'm just gonna send him.
Well, let's get him in.
Yeah, let's get them
Who is
both in.
Here we go. Oh, fast asleep. Well, next up, we've got our very first Undr The Cosh and Friends double bill. Yes, one is no stranger to the podcast, widely regarded as the best guest to date. The other, the frontman, from in my humble opinion, one of the most underrated bands of the Britpop era. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Crossley and Shed 7's Rick Witter. How are we doing, lads? Sorry.
Hello.
Apologies.
Rick.
Apologies, Rick.
We're so sorry.
That was like one of Alex Ferguson's fucking added on time, that.
Man, Rick, I'm really sorry. We're really sorry. Norm, fuck off, mate. You'd have been doing no tells, wouldn't you?
Norm, the last time I saw you, I saw 4 shithouses going across my computer screen because I was paralytic. So I had to go to bed.
Well, I saw you under the table. Apparently you can't handle gin very well.
It is strong. In my defence, it's a strong bugger.
Yeah.
Right, lads.
All right, Rick. You all right?
Yes, I'm all right, thank you. It's all right. All of that was all right because I'm watching snooker on the glass tit, so it's all right.
We're very, very sorry for keeping you waiting, lads. We're very sorry.
I honestly didn't see the time. We're getting
so
worse.
You've been having a really interesting chat then, have you?
Yeah, we have.
You would not believe what it was like. It was ecstasy on a podcast. It was just fucking nuts.
What, you're on
Infectious.
No. I wish I were. I feel like I were at like 25 minutes.
No, but you're a fully fledged shedhead, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Going on.
Yeah.
I believe you.
You're a bit nervous, Norm.
I look nervous.
No, are you a bit nervous?
Oh no, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right.
No, not for this, but when you like on one of your idols and all that.
I know, yeah.
We've met a few times, haven't we, Mark?
We have, yeah.
I remember once. I remember probably one of the first visions of that man there was when we played somewhere like the Shepherd's Bush Empire in about 1996, and it was a sea of like quite young, small girls, and then him right in the middle of them all with his massive hands waving them about.
They must have been bloody strong young girls.
Were you crowd surfing, no?
I was crowd surfing. I was practicing my diving about.
Did you bring your gloves?
No, I didn't need them, mate. Yeah, Shepherd's Bush Empire. I think, what was that? About 94, 5 or something like that?
Yeah, probably mid-90s. Yeah, maybe 96. Probably around the time of Maximum High, so probably about 96. Because you came down with your mate and my mate Paul McGregor, didn't you?
That's right, yeah. Paul McGregor, Scott Gemmell.
Yeah.
Archie's son, Scott.
Yeah. Archie, yeah. And I think the next time was, I think you played TFI Friday.
Yeah, we did that a few times. That was always really nerve-wracking, that, because it was totally...
Yeah.
That must have been a big old gig back then, by the way, because that was like one of the best programmes on television at the time.
Yeah, well, there's been now like it since, really. Just pure live telly, Friday night tea time, and then repeated at 11 when people got chucked out of the pubs. So it was a really good thing to be on. But it was just, as I say, it was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're live. And it was like, wow, here we go then. You know, so it was always totally concentrating that you didn't make a tit of yourself on live telly.
Yeah.
Rick, how was it being a part of the Britpop golden era? That era from, say, 94 to 97?
Yeah, but it's a weird one because when we were doing it, we weren't really thinking that. We were just cracking on. We were just doing it. You know, it was always... Because you kind of assign band, you've got to be over there. You've got to go to Spain and do this. You've got to. Where's the next album? You know, so it's totally properly on all the time, as well as all the partying, obviously. But you know,
we'll get onto that in a bit, Rick. Well, talk us through how it all started. But yeah,
what with Sheds?
Yeah, how did it all start? Were you all musicians before, or?
Well, I was born in 1972.
You don't have to go that far. What?
69, me. Still no good at it.
So we were all in kind of school bands together. We all met when we were at 11. So me and Paul, the guitarist, when we first met, when we were about 11, we decided we wanted to be in a band together because we'd grown up listening to music at home. I'd always wanted to be a singer. I can remember being 9, looking in the mirror with an airbrush, singing along, you know. to Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax, and all this business. So, you know, we decided to form a band when we were about 11, but we didn't really do anything regarding writing music. We just pretended we were in a band. So, you know, we'd maybe be in each other's bedrooms and we'd create record sleeves for the songs that we'd not yet written. So even down to drawing the barcode and everything, you know, we were really anal about it. and then over a space of time, we just started, you know, I said to him, I'm singing, you're playing guitar. So we had this guitar, he couldn't play it all. But over the years, we just kept doing it and fell in love with doing it, and luckily got somewhere out of it. But it did take a long time, you know, it wasn't like totally flash in the pan.
Yeah. Were you a bit like us? Were you just fucking winging it, like, to start with? Just thinking,
still
right?
Are, mate. Still are.
You're not fucking with. You've been very modest. You're not.
Yeah, you're a humble man.
You're not winging it now. But was it just like? Would you have been happy with like just doing like local bars in York to start with, or did you really like? You'd have took that as a musician, would you? Or?
Well, no, we always wanted more than that, but that's exactly what we did. But coming from York, certainly around the time where we were starting to play in pubs, there wasn't really a big indie scene in York. You know, York's a very oldie-worldy town. There's lots of really nice old pubs, and you'd find folk bands playing in there. It kind of fit the bill, you know. So we were always looked upon as being a little bit weird. We had the weird hair and the weird clothes. So we kind of copied the Stone Roses a little bit, to be honest, and we'd kind of make 4 or 5 gigs a year into events rather than a lot of other bands who play the same pub every week to the same people. So we kind of tried to make it a little bit more special, to the point where I think once we actually played in Sainsbury's car park because we just thought it'd be a bit different to playing in a pub.
All your fans are fucking trolleys.
Yeah.
But you'd be
People's attic trolleys.
That type of thing will draw more attention to it. You know, if you think it's something outside the box, you can
totally.
imagine the media and the fans especially relating to it and getting on board with it.
Well, this is before we were signed, and to tell the full story, we were supposed to play in a pub, but they didn't get the music license in time. So we were quite disappointed. We turned up at soundcheck with all of our equipment to soundcheck to be told that you can't play. So we thought, well, what are we going to do? So at the time, Alan, our drummer, used to work in this plant thing in Selby. So he went back to Selby and got a generator so that we could power up the amps. Took it to the car park. And most of the people who were supposed to come to the gig would put a sign on the door saying, we're going to be playing at Sainsbury's car park. So there was probably about 60 people watching us. And I'm thinking, well, we could get some press out of this. So halfway through the gig, I'm saying to the crowd of 60, one of you go to the phone box and phone the police and say there's noise disturbance at Sainsbury's.
There's some folk making noise here. The fucking shite. Can somebody come and fucking turf them out or what?
So basically, somebody did do that. Came back and said, I've done it. I phoned the police. So we carried on, thinking any time now the police are going to come and ask what's going on. Got to the end of the set about 5 songs later, still no police. So so we thought, well, that's knackered up then. So we started packing everything away. And just as we were finished packing the car up, police turn up. It's like, you're a bit
what are you, starts smashing windows?
Get that gear back out. But why do you, like, we talked about 96 then, which, you know, the year that you were killing it, you know.
Yeah.
And the hits from Maximum High, why do you think you never got that mainstream commercial success the same as some of the other bands at that time?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, a lot of it was getting on the covers of the press. You know, all the Enemy, the Melody Maker. If you're on the front covers of them, you're more likely to sell more records.
The politics.
And for some reason, we had a little bit of a love-hate relationship with the press. I mean, we did get a lot of good reviews and we got some good write-ups, but we also got a lot of dog shit. So it was kind of, we didn't kind of, you know, in 94 when we released our first album, I think the press in London wanted us to move down to London and be seen stroking Peter Stringfellow's hair, you know, and just being there at all the clubs, you know. And we didn't want to do that. We're from York, and it's a 2-hour train journey back to York. And it was always great to go down there and party and work, but it was just as good to just get on a train for 2 hours and come home and see our mates. You know, we'd come home after doing something really good and a bit rock and roll, and we'd see our friends and tell them about it, and then they'd go, "Oh yeah, I fixed the toilet the other day." And it's right back down to earth again, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
You know, So I
That's a
think
good thing,
because of
though.
that,
That's
we're still
a
here.
good thing, though.
I think that's the reason we're still here, to be honest.
Yeah.
This probably follows on from your question, Chris. But around that era, I remember there was a lot of feuds between the Britpop, like Oasis and Blur falling out. Did you ever think that you thought, I think we need a
Stir
we
the
need a tear
pot.
up?
Yeah.
Yeah. To create more publicity to yourselves, just fall out with somebody.
Or
Did you ever-
do a gig in a supermarket car park. That generally works as well.
Yeah, we could do a tour of them. couldn't we?
Yeah.
Mate, to be fair, there's fucking loads of fans in there queuing up now. But all they're wanting is a fucking beef lasagna.
That's actually a great idea, isn't it? That's a really good idea. You've got a perfect audience there. Well, no, that's the whole point. I mean, Oasis got a lot of covers because they punched everybody, you know, or they were punching themselves all the time. So that garnered interest, you know what I mean? So, but we were never really like that. We just wanted to write music and enjoy ourselves.
But
It's the same in like our business, really, isn't it? I mean, you get in the papers, and I remember Vinny Jones saying to me, he says, if I've not been in the papers for 6 weeks, I've got to do something on the pitch to get in. I've got to keep my image up and that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I played with a lad at Preston.
But it seems like Rick didn't go down that route. They just went down the enjoying doing what they were doing route. Because I'm sure Rick could have fucking, I don't know, threw a television out to the fucking hotel room.
Well, I tried.
And brought a...
You want to know that story?
What did you do? Throw it into the toilet instead of out at window?
No, well, listen, we were in, I think it was somewhere like Denmark or Norway, and it was around the time when the first album was coming to its end. We'd been on tour around Europe for months and months, and I'm thinking, right, this is my opportunity now. We'd all been out on a night off. We were yet to do the gig. It was the next day, so we're all on a night off, roaming the streets. It might have been Portugal. We might have been going around shouting Portuguesers to everybody. I can't remember. But anyway, we got a little bit off our heads. And I was sharing a room with a friend of mine who was also roadieing for us at the time, and he was a bit of an animal. So we checked into the hotel, and I knew there was a telly in the bedroom because I'd seen the remote control. So we'd gone out and got really drunk. Come back to the hotel, I'm going, right, this is my opportunity now. The one and only time, just to be rock and roll, I'm going to throw the telly out the window. So I'm in the room, absolutely arsehole, looking around for this telly. My mate's laughing at me. And there's 2 single beds here and a bedside table here, and there's the remote control. I'm thinking, where's the telly? I just couldn't find it. I just could not find the telly. So in the end, I just threw the remote control out into the swimming pool. But then the next morning, I woke up and the telly was on the bloody wall behind me, wasn't it?
It's not going to make the front of the paper. Shank 7 Witter throws television remote out of window.
Could have sold us a few copies.
Rick, talking about trying to get on the front page, a front stage scrap with a fan is a good way to go about it, and I believe that was something happened.
Yeah, there was. Well, that was
Dublin.
all a bit of. It was a bit of a misfortunate accident. That was. We were playing in Dublin.
It weren't fucking Crossley, were it? Crossley weren't on stage.
Yeah, it was 96 at Shepherd's Bush Empire. That's right. No, we were playing a gig in Dublin, and you know, it was a great gig. It was quite a small stage, and it was really loud. And then halfway through, this lad managed to get on the stage. And as I'm kind of singing, I'm getting into it. Suddenly, this lad's got his arm around me, and he's kind of shouting into my ear, but it was really loud on the stage, so I couldn't really hear what he was saying. So we're kind of doing a bit of this and a bit of that, and then he was shouting to me that much that we ended up falling over. I bashed my head on the drum riser, and at that point, the roadies came on and took him away. I don't know. I hope he didn't get too badly kicked in, but anyway, he was chucked out. It turns out he was a big fan of us, but he was stood apparently next to Morrissey, who was there watching, and he was also a big fan of Morrissey, and he got that excited that he wanted to come and tell me that Morrissey was watching us from the crowd. I couldn't hear what he was saying, you know, but people do mental things. So for the rest of that tour, I had a massive gash here.
Yeah, I bet you had plenty of massive gashes on that tour. In your younger days.
More than
many leather you had.
playing for York City.
Order. No, I'm order. There's no need to start getting insulted about it.
What
But
else?
to be honest, mate, every time we go playing golf, mate, all he talks about is Shed 7. So I'm just about to tee off, and he just starts playing fucking music in background. I don't know if it's because he likes it or he's trying to fucking put me off with it or what. I don't know.
You followed him all over, Norm.
I've been to as many gigs I can actually get to when I've been busy, but obviously now that like I'm semi-retired, I want to go. Obviously, I'll be there a lot. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Rick, I've spoke to Rick quite a bit. We're going to plan a walk together in September, where we're going to charge people to do it, and we're going to get charities involved. Rick's got charity he works for and all that, so we think it's a good idea. We think people will come. We'll do a bit of Q&A and all that, but yeah, I mean, from that first time I went, I'm a massive fan of music. I listen to music every day, but I'm not just saying it because he's here, but the live gigs that they actually do are like out of this world. I mean, they're probably the best live band that I've ever seen. And when you know someone, and you tend to follow that and carry on with it. And the latest album, actually, I've actually got it here, Rick. I was in
Rick,
the loft.
He's lined this up. He's lined this up today. Bless him.
I was in the loft earlier, time the loft out. It's been raining, so I come out with a few things out of this little box I've got. Right, so that's the match ball that I made my debut in 1980 summer,
1973.
Right, that is. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cup final, runners-up medal.
Very nice.
I saw that, but I shouldn't be showing runners-up stuff. I've got a couple of these.
Well, to be fair,
couple of these 110 metres hurdles Olympics medals as well.
but
they keep my keepsake in that box. A signed Instant Pleasures album. How about that?
No,
I'm a massive fan. I love my music and all that. I love listening to. I think I just posted something on Twitter recently where I like listening to new bands. I like the indie stuff more than anything. But I was brought up with Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, and you know that's how old I actually am.
Did you go to school with Johnny Cash?
I was brought up with music, mate, and like when you're brought up with it through your household, grandparents and mums and dads and all that, and I've always been a massive fan of music. So,
thing is, Mark, you do a good thing because that thing you put on the other day about all these new bands you're listening to, it really helps.
Yeah,
to spread the word, and it's certainly in these uncertain times, a lot of bands who are perhaps up and coming and need to get out and do stuff and physically can't. It's a great way of making sure people are aware of them, you know. So well done to you for that.
I'm sure, like us, I get lots of young footballers calling me and like saying, I'm in a bit of a predicament. What can I do? Like, and I'm sure you get the same. You must get these young bands. I've noticed some bands like tweeting, "Thanks, Rick, for your advice" and stuff like that. And these are good bands. These are bands that could, like management, the lucky break. You need a bit of luck in anything you do.
It must be tough to give it. It must be tough to give advice, Rick, because that to me that 90s movement is probably the last music movement of our time, unfortunately, because of the way things have gone.
Yeah, well, I think now just with the modern technology and the internet and the fact that you can just click a button and you've got it instantly, which is one of the reasons our last album was called Instant Pleasures. I think it's changed the goalpost massively. I think now, in some respects, it's easier for bands because you can do it on your own a bit more. You can DIY it a bit more, but then you still need that big financial backing if you want to get massive. If you want to become Elton John, you need that massive push, you know. So it swings and roundabouts, really. But that's why, as I say, with people like Mark, just making people aware of it more, it's a great help.
Because I think it makes it easier. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, Chris.
I was
Do you
gonna-
prefer touring in your 20s or touring in your 40s? Right now.
To be honest, probably now, because I'm appreciating it more, because I'm taking it more seriously. In my 20s, I didn't care what happened next and probably partied too much. But now, the fact that we're still here and we're still doing it and we can still pull a crowd, every gig we do now, I really appreciate it. And then go and have a massive party.
Because is that right? You do December. Is it Sheds?
Yeah, Shedsember, yeah. Yeah, which is something a fan coined, you know. So we didn't really think of that. Some fans said, "Oh, it's Shedsember." Oh, that's clever. So yes.
So if you could shut us out of 5 or 6 tickets for Shedsember this year, that'd be incredible, mate.
I tell you what, I'll do that for this year because we're not doing any.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You know, on our CV it says "will travel," so it don't matter where in country it is, we'll come.
Listen, you're welcome anytime.
Do you know what I've noticed as well? Like a lot of the bands from back in the 90s, the good ones especially. I don't know, Rick. Would you say you're as big now as you were in the 90s, or I don't know? Like
I think we're bigger now, to be honest. Weirdly, I don't know what. I think maybe because we're just stuck at it, you know, and we didn't. We've not changed either. I think a lot of people who come and see us now, well, funnily enough, a lot of young people come and see us.
Yeah.
But a lot of our age group and slightly older do. And I think it's a way of them reminiscing almost about the 90s or their youth and remembering what they did when that song was out and all of this. But now I'm even noticing a lot of these people are bringing their 10, 11-year-old kids, and even the 10 and 11-year-old kids are singing every word. So they're obviously playing it at home. And that for us, we are the new Rolling Stones. We'll just carry on with the new generations of people, which is brilliant.
And as well as it's the power of social media.
Yeah,
one person tweets someone or posts something on Instagram. Totally. And listen to this.
But I think it works the opposite way as well, though, because it's like you said about the 90s. You know, I mean, like that first MySpace generation. I thought, oh, there's going to be bands coming through that you can hear everybody, but then it sanitizes it. There's too much. When you're guided, like you said, with your enemies and whatnot, telling you what you should listen to, and then you can cherry pick what you like. But now it's just, I don't know. There's too much.
Well, the way I do that is if I've got time, I'll just love browsing online. You know, because you can. So if you're on one of these sites, you can. Even if you're listening to the Stone Roses, it'll give you options of something that sounds a bit like the Stone Roses, and then you can just go off on one and spend hours just listening to new.
True.
And some of it's good and some of it isn't, but that's the quality, really, isn't it?
Yeah. No.
I tell you what. I go to gigs with my daughter. She's 23. We like the same music. She likes the same music as me. So and
you're 64, aren't you?
I would never have dreamt back in the 90s going to a gig with my dad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now
it'd have been fucking Elvis, wouldn't it? Like same as my dad. It'd
probably
been Elvis, wouldn't it?
or something like that. Yeah.
Is that something you've done as a dad, Mark? You, from an early age. Here, listen to this.
Well, it's music constantly on in the house. Dad, what was that? What's that? What's that? You play it in the car, you sing it along, and they start to sing along with you, don't they? You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, I mean, I went to see the Stone Roses with my daughter a couple of years ago at the Etihad, and we had a boogie and all that. I mean, I think I'm not
a boogie. We had a boogie. Is that a boogie? We had a boogie. that's like fucking Greece. We had a boogie. We had a boogie.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean.
But to be fair, Rick, right? So, fair play to you that you just said, right, this is where we are from the 90s to now. This is just what we're doing, right? And to be fair, people have got do you know when for the last 25 years that I've been going out, right? The Killers is always an incredible song, right?
Do you mean the band?
Yeah, the Killers fucking tell us.
He had him, by the way.
What?
Oh, I'm pissed. I'm always pissed this time of night. But it don't matter. I'm nearly 40 now. You know what I mean, you fucking ass.
Do you mean Mr. Brightside?
Yeah, Mr. Brightside, right? Yeah. Right. So I'll probably start listening to that at 20-year-old, maybe. And 20-year-olds now, 20 years after, still go fucking nuts for that.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, that's the sign of a good song, isn't it? Music's music, and if it's a good song, it'll last forever. You know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But the fact that you've stuck to what you've always done, it's like that. It's brilliant, isn't it? Really.
To be honest, John, it's one of these things where I think with us, and we're quite lucky as a band. We've known each other for so long. You know, we're not really the type who would even consider massive experimentation and going off on one. You know, we just know how to write a good song. You know, so you know we'll start an idea, and if it's not good enough, we'll just sack it off and write another. There's so many bands you hear of when they're about to release a new album, the band will be interviewed and they'll go, "Oh, we wrote 100 songs and we're trying to whittle it down to 20." It's like, no, well, we've written 20 songs and there they are. You know, it's like, you know, it's this is why I think our last album, which I must stop calling our new album because it's not new anymore. In fact, we must write another one at some point. But that's
if you can't have been busy now for this last fucking 8 weeks, 12 weeks. You must have wrote one.
Never have.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
It's one of them. Whenever it's working, you've got to carry on doing it because, like, it's like football. I always say it: play as long as you can. You know what I mean? They'll go, "Well, I'm not going to." If you love football, right, and you love playing football, carry on playing it while you can. Is that the same in music, Rick? I don't know. Like,
if you
luckily, they don't have to run about that much, do they?
Oh, you should see me on stage, mate. I'm all over the place.
It is. It's hard. I mean, it must. It's knackering. Not only that's mentally, isn't it? It's like the build up to the gig that you're going to do after the gig when you relax and you're coming down. It's like it's the same thing as football. I'm sure it's got to be.
Yeah, a 25, 30-day tour is mental. It really take it out of you. You know, I mean, I like to swing my hips, and I'm having to take the Swarfiga with me.
Rick, can you dance?
Can you dance?
No, what now with you?
Are you asking?
I thought you were.
I will dance.
I wouldn't call it dancing. A lot of people would call it dab dancing. But I like to get into the spirit of it. So there's a lot of swinging my ass that goes on.
I've seen you a few times, and I tell you what, there's some snakes in them hips. I've seen them go. I've seen it. We can definitely dance.
I've still got it. I'm 47. I've still got it.
Rick, what's your favourite song you've produced? You've sang?
That's always a really difficult one, that, because there is a lot of them. And again, going back to what I was saying about writing a certain amount of songs for an album, if we're not happy with it, we wouldn't release it. So, you know, there's maybe 2 or 3 that I'm not particularly into over our whole career, but it's difficult. You know, I mean, if we go on tour, we've got a lot of hits, so people want to hear the hits. And to answer it another way, I get asked a lot, do you get bored of singing the songs over and over again? But I never do, because if we're playing in front of a crowd who are really appreciating it and singing every word, I mean, what can you know? You just can't go wrong, can you? It's the best.
It's a reaction of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
So
I guess the only problem there is you do a gig. 1 time out of 10, you might come off thinking, "Oh, that wasn't great. I could have done that better." So you have a few drinks to commiserate. But 9 times out of 10, it's brilliant. So you come off stage and have a few drinks to celebrate.
So basically, mate, you're getting fucking twatted as and when, innit?
It's like sisters after dinner speaking, innit, Parky? What we do.
Yeah, mate, to be fair, I have a couple before. Done me shit. If it's terrible, we don't give a fuck, do we? We just have something to hate. And
no, don't get him talking about himself. That's the worst thing you can do on this. I've got 2 questions for you, Norm. What's your favourite Shed 7 song? And
me?
2, yeah, you. And can you sing it?
Not without the beat in the background, no.
Here we go.
What do you want? I've got a tambourine here. I've got a guitar.
I don't know. My favourite one is Butterfly on a Wheel. I don't know why. I just loved it. I was working out and in the garage, and my lad was with me, and the song come on, and he started going and all that. And I don't know. It just hit home to me. I love Butterfly.
There is evidence of you singing that online, isn't there?
There is, yeah. I never asked you for permission either, did I?
Right. Get him out.
Yeah. You owe him fucking 50 grand, mate. Royalties.
It's the only reason I've come on here.
Yeah. But
Can we get a rendition? Can we get a rendition from you, Mark, and maybe a backup?
Obviously, Chasing Rainbows. It's been linked with so much stuff on it, Rick. It's like when you first. Did you ever think when you're writing all your songs? Do you ever think this is going to be good, or is it the public that decide that, or?
Well, it's funny because it doesn't often happen that, but with Chasing Rainbows, it did. There was just a feeling. Me and Paul wrote that when we were on a tour bus outside a venue in Munich, I think, and we'd come to the end of a long European tour. This is in the days where you had to change your money every time you went to a different country. And we'd be in Italy for 2 days, and then we'd go to sleep on a tour bus, and then we'd end up in Switzerland, and you'd have loads of bloody lira or whatever it was in your hand. And well, I'm going to change this. 2 days later, you'd be in Germany or wherever. So anyway, we got to kind of the end of our tether a bit. We had one gig left in Germany, in Munich, and we were waiting to sound check. It was absolutely pissing it down. Me and Paul are sat on this tour bus that we'd lived on for about 2 months. And he just got his guitar out and came up with this doo-doo-doo-ding riff. And I suddenly just started singing "This Things That I Regret" and jotting these words down. Took it into the gig while the band was sound checking and played it to them. They all started playing along, and we all just instantly, this is like 4:30 in the afternoon, we're thinking, wow, there's legs with this, you know. And then songs it's almost like you're just grabbing into thin air and going, thanks, I'll have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew straight away.
There's a song I find.
You just write the words. You just write the words.
Yeah, the words.
The music
and the melody
comes after that.
Well, usually Paul or Joe, the guitarist, will give me a riff, and I'll take it away and listen to it, and I'll think of a melody, and then once I've got a kind of strong enough melody that I like, I'll then kind of try and piece some words to it, and then make a story out of it.
Wow.
Rick, I want to know, because in football, it's all about form. You know, if you have one game, you want the next game to come as soon as possible. Do you know, if you're on form and thinking that's going to work, that as a song, do you think, right, I'll go on the next one, I'll write another?
Well,
I feel good, if you know what I mean.
It is funny because when you're young and you haven't got a deal or anything, you're just doing it for fun. It is just a natural thing, and you think, yeah, this is great. And then you get signed and you're told, right, where's the next album and where's the next album, and it becomes almost like a job of work without sounding like it's so woe is me, you know, because it's obviously great fun. I mean, most of our second album was written on a potato factory, so that's not very much fun, is it?
I know what? A potato factory?
Yeah, we needed somewhere to rehearse in York, and we couldn't find anywhere. And this lad, do you know Cockerell's Potato Farms?
I've heard of them.
No, I don't. I can imagine I've had some fucking chips from them, by the way, over the years.
Well,
no.
You might have seen the lorries driving down the motorway full of potatoes. But anyway, they have this potato plant just on the outskirts of York. And the son of the owner was a big fan. And he said, look, there's a disused office at the side of a potato farm where you can use to write and rehearse if you want. You can make as much noise as you want. So we ended up writing a lot of the Maximum High album in that place. So if you look through the windows, you'd see loads of tractors going past full of potatoes. But we ended up writing some great songs in there. The most weird thing about that is they knocked that potato farm down about maybe 10 years later and built a B&Q. And on the exact place where the office bit was, where we wrote those songs, is now where they sell the sheds at that B&Q.
Quality.
Couldn't make it up, could you?
So, to be fair though, right, Rick, what do you class as a great song? Is it a great song for you personally, or is it a great song which has made you the most money?
What, for us, for our band or anything?
For you personally, right? So, the best songs that you've ever written, no matter how much they've made you or how many people listen to them,
yeah,
your own personal great songs.
Right, well, there's a song off Instant Pleasures called Better Days, which is a similar kind of story to what I've said about Chasing Rainbows. It was almost like grabbing it out of thin air. It just happened. It took me about 20 minutes to write the melody and the words to that. But it has a lot of meaning without me even really thinking it at the time. And it kind of hits people. Maybe listen to it when your show's finished. But it's basically about, like a lot of great songs, it's about love and need and want and greed, you know. But it's kind of, for me, it's got that kind of classic melody that it's almost like it's always been there. And they're often the best songs. It's like what Paul McCartney once said yesterday. He thought of that song, and then he thought, right, well, this is, I can't have written this. I've subconsciously rewritten somebody else's song. So he took it round to loads of his friends and the rest of the Beatles, and they were going, no, we've never heard this. And it's like one of those where it's almost like, yeah, thanks, I'll have that.
Yeah.
So Better Days is one of them, you know, but this bloke, all of them. Cheers.
I tell you what, I was saying to you, John, one night on the golf course, that like it's unbelievable how many song titles you've got that have actually related to this disease that's going around at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It honestly,
wasn't it?
Unbelievable. I mean, I think you've mentioned it before. Well, people have mentioned it, saying you can go through all the songs, especially the ones on Instant Pleasure. And if you listen to the lyrics, you can go, oh, you can relate it. You know, it's not easy. You know what I mean? Like,
and Better Days.
Who's getting the golf course at the moment?
Yeah. You want mate?
Who's getting the better of the golf course at the moment? Out of you two?
Did I collect yesterday or not?
Ricky's foot golf, haven't you, Rick?
I did that the other day. Yeah, it was good fun actually. Enjoyed it.
Mate, it's not as easy as what you think, by the way. The foot golf at York.
Yeah.
Mate, it's not as easy as what you think. I thought, fucking hell, piss it. I would hit trees as much as when I'm fucking into my golf ball.
It's a long time since I've kicked a ball and my groin's fucked.
Rick, what's your favourite ever gig? Before we get off, what's your favourite ever?
Well, again, it's very difficult to answer that because we've just done so many, and a lot of them are great. You know, it's obviously the more renowned big city gigs are great because, you know, but then you can play in Llandudno on a Monday night, and as long as the crowd are into it, they can make it just the most special occasion ever, you know. So it's very difficult to hone in on one particular gig. All I'd say there is we're very lucky. We've got a great, loyal, strong fan base who know that they're going to get entertained. So it's like a game of tennis. If I'm looking out and everyone's loving it, I'll give that love back. And it's like whacking a ball to each other, you know. It's so sorry, I can't give you a definitive answer to that. All of our gigs have always been.
Hey, to be fair, mate, you keep getting fucking Big Nom. You can keep whacking Big Nom about, can't you? Tennis He'll still be there.
I'm going to educate you about music parking next time we're on the golf course.
Mate, I know Shed 7, mate. I'm very, very well aware of Shed 7.
So I think I might have seen you playing, John, in about 2017. I came to watch York.
Oh, in what, 2017?
Were you playing for them then? I'm sure you were playing.
Yes, I might have, yeah.
Beginning of the season, I think you won about 4-1 against Stockport or somebody.
Did I score?
No, I couldn't remember that. I was too busy.
You fucking cheeky bastard.
Listen, I was too busy trying to chuck my remote control at you.
I tell you what, Rick, you definitely never seen him run the channels anyway. That's one thing for sure on that night.
I want to run right fucking much.
Hey, you were a good player. You're a right good player. Top player. Top player.
I've got my sound back up. Cheers, lads. I lost you for a minute, but I'm back.
Nah, yeah. Welcome, mate.
I missed you, Chris, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I didn't think you would.
No, mate, we've got, funny enough, you could be getting a P45 tomorrow because we're doing all right, aren't you?
Lads, thank Rick. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah,
hey,
brilliant.
Thank you very much for coming on, mate. Very
no
much
worries.
appreciated.
Cheers, Norm. As always.
I'll see you Friday foot walk.
All right, mate. Yeah, no See you, Rick.
later,
See you later,
pal.
chaps.
Take care, lads. Thank
care.
you very much. Thank you very much.
There's things that I regret.
Oh, waiting. There we go.
Like being called a nervous wreck and working out a nervous sweat for you. There's nothing I can do for counterparts and bleeding hearts and still the things that fall apart for you. I don't keep my secrets there. Oh, I hide them everywhere. I could deny.
Stop ruining it, John.
I'm just chasing rainbows
All the time. Superb. Superb.
See you later.
See you later, Dom.
I'll speak to you tomorrow, Big Un. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, piss break.
No, we ain't got time for a piss break,
He's
mate.
not got time. He's going to be well pissed off.
That's going to be fucking raging. Right,
Here we go.
Get him in. Don't wait for me, lad.
Get it in. Right. Matty, get Darren in.
Here he is, the man of many voices.
Wait till he's.
Darren Farley, how we doing, mate? You all right?
How are we, mate?
Sorry
You
for the
okay?
wait. Yes, we're good.
It's all right. Don't worry. I understand the technical issues, guys. Don't be worrying.
I'm very sorry, mate. I said to you about 5 to 9 o'clock, and
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I just missed Emmerdale. Don't worry about it.
Mate, it's killing me. These soaps not being on, by the way.
I know.
Can't wait for them to get back.
I know, mate. I know. I loved them. I made up
Brookside's my favourite. It's not been on. It's not been on for fucking years.
It's not been the same since Sinbad left.
You know what? I know. I loved Brookie. It was boss. You need to bring it back, therefore. I think I'll try and get a part of it, to be honest with you.
Could you relate to it when there were people buried in back gardens and all that? Is that what you can relate to?
Not really, no. None of that went on in our family. I don't think so, anyway, to be fair.
Thank you very much for coming on, by the way.
Yeah, totally.
Very much appreciated.
No problem at all, lads.
How long have you been going now, mate? Since you really started seeing some traction? We're talking like 2012 or something earlier.
Do you know what? Yeah, do you know what, mate? I think it was like I'd say about around that time. Yeah, it's funny, innit? Because you've got different stages. Because I look back at like my first video was 2008. To be honest with you, that was the first one. But then I didn't really do much after that. I was still working in my previous job, doing my normal stuff, and then probably about 2011, 2012, I started putting stuff online. Then when like Facebook was kicking off and those kind of things, and then from there, like it just flew. Because football, football's just like it's massive. You know what I mean? It's and you can constantly do different characters. There's always a different story. There's always content to film. There's always like a story you can work with. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
It's,
Your previous job was what, a burglar or?
I beg your pardon.
I'm only winding up. I'm only kidding them.
Darren, when did you realise? When did you realise that you thought, I've actually got a skill here?
Do you know what, right, Chris? I think that it's so hard to explain because people go to you, when did you realise? Is it something that you wanted to do, and it's not. It's something that you just do naturally. You know what I mean? Like not a lot of people knew about what I could do because I kept it kind of like private to me. I know it sounds a bit strange, but you meet someone and you look at like little. I'm massively into like the body language. You know what I mean? The voice is massively important. Don't get me wrong, but like the body language of people. People who've got like a little bit of a tick or they've got like a little bit just something different about body language, and I think that shows sometimes in the characters that I do. That I focus more like on the facials and what they do, but it's such an hard thing to explain because like I never sat down one day and went, you know what, I'd love to do impressions. It was something that I could do naturally, you know what I mean? And then
Even when you were younger?
Yeah. I'd say from when I was about, say 13, 14. And it was all,
It was your first one?
First one I done was Michael Owen, believe it or not. Michael Owen. So
Being
when
a Liverpool fan.
he was, yeah. So he was at Liverpool at the time and he was like massive with England, and he'd come on and he'd start speaking and he just had this accent. And I think I was on holiday years ago, and Liverpool, if you remember when Liverpool won the treble, Michael Owen was unbelievable that season. He come on and done an interview after the game, and I was just in some bar with like the family, and I just started doing and messing, and like the host, they were all going, "Oh my God, that's unbelievable!" And then,
they must have been twatted.
Yeah, you wanted to hear it as well, Parky. At the time, it was. I look back at my old impressions and I'm like, oh my word, they sound terrible. Because it's mad when you look back at your first. You constantly improve the characters that you do.
Fine-tune.
So I look back at me like first couple of videos, I cringe, you know. I go, oh my God, it's awful. No, seriously, you want to hear me Rafa? It's so bad.
But it's YTS tackling it. It's YTS. You're just fucking playing your trade, aren't you?
That's it, mate. That's exactly it. That's it. I was just a YT of impressions at the time, therefore.
I'll be honest, mate. I came back from the toilet and I heard you speaking. I thought,
who's he doing?
I haven't got a clue who he's going on about, but I'll laugh anyway.
Yeah. Because I always say, my mum says that the funniest impression you do is your own voice. Honestly, your own voice is funnier than anyone.
I don't think anybody would have you as your voice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And to be honest with you,
sorry, Darren, that's twice he's come for you, by the way.
Not really.
Me?
The big scruff. He's come for you twice now.
But you know what?
The Scouser thing. That's just a norm, innit? That's just a norm.
Parky, who's your support, son?
Barnsley.
And you're taking the piss out of me.
But you ain't got a fucking voice for me, love, have you?
Barnsley. Hey, who's your hero? Was it John Hendry who played up front for Barnsley?
Yeah, Endo. Mine more Aston Ward. You know the kid who was on.
I'll translate Ashley
Cheshire.
Ward.
Good luck.
Cheshire.
Oh yeah.
Cheshire.
So he's
my hero.
He's more famous for being on ITV2 than being a footballer. That's how good he was.
Yeah.
He is now. His missus does all fucking. To be fair, she's gonna shut up my fucking face. That.
Do you know what? I actually remember him scoring the winner at Anfield one time. He beat us 1-0. Do you remember that?
Yes. Oh, we did in our last Premiership season.
Yeah. It was
98,
a bit of a shock.
99.
About that time, mate. Yeah, because I started going on the match like properly in about 96, 97. Yeah. So that would have been that time. It was a bit of a shock, that one, mate, wasn't it?
Not for us Barnsley fans, mate. It was no.
Darren,
we thought we were going to get a result.
Darren, I've seen all your work, and you're more of a Scouser than I thought you'd ever be.
Yeah, I am. I'm very, very Scouse. I mean, wherever I go, people do struggle to understand me. I mean, I could do any accent, so I could literally be anyone I want, but this is my voice, believe it or not.
Even now, I think you're lying. I think you're putting one on.
You know what? People meet, honestly, right? I go, if I go to a gig or something, I'll get speaking to someone, they'll go, how are you, mate? And I'll start talking, and they start laughing and go, funny that.
That was me.
I think I'm pulling the leg. No, it's just my voice. My own voice is the worst, I told you, what my mum said.
It must, since you've found the fame, mate, you must get recognised all the time. When you've got a specific trade, like yourself, a specific talent, you must get it all the time, man. Just people coming up, not necessarily wanting to talk to you, well, having that initial conversation and then do this, do that.
Do you know, Chris, what it is? What's different with being an impressionist is if you're recognised for being a footballer, right? You'll get stuff for a photograph or an autograph.
Do some kick.
They won't ask. Yeah, they won't ask you to start doing anything with a ball. You know what I mean? And what it is with impressions is people want an impression. You want a video. So every time you get stopped, they're like, "Oh, can you do a little video? Can you do a voice for me?" So there must be thousands of videos of me just in the middle of Asda, just doing. I've been honestly the places you get stopped. This honestly, right? I remember once, right? I was in we'd gone away to, I think it was Centre Parks or something with the family, and I was at this fella stopped me. He was a dead nice fella. He must have been about I'd say about 60 odd. He stopped me and said, "I love your work." He asked me to do an impression. Honestly, right, I'm not joking. 45 minutes later, right, I was still there. It was like a stand-up show. He had the family all around filming me. Honestly, I was doing people I don't even do. He was just
didn't have the heart to say to walk away.
Oh no! Do you know what? To be honest, I'm not being funny. I'm very, very blessed to do what I do. I do impressions to actually build a career out of it. Honestly, I'm like, wow, how have I achieved this? And it's people like that, really. Do you know what I mean? They're the people who watch you. So whenever you get stopped, you're always friendly, do a few impressions, but
you don't mind, do you? It's like most footballers don't mind stopping in a shopping centre and having a photo and all that. Most footballers are like that, but I can imagine
there's a big difference. There's a big difference from stopping for a photo to speaking, performing.
Yeah.
That's
it is totally different. Honestly, any other walk of life, if you're an actor, if you're a singer, no one will ask you to sing a song in the middle of the Trafford Centre or whatever. But with impressions, right, honestly, no one ever stops you. You don't get me wrong, you get photos with people, but it's mostly videos. But I went to with Liverpool. I went to the 2015 final in Bâle, and honestly, I don't actually remember much of the day because I was doing videos throughout the day. I lost me mates early on in the day, to be honest with you. Lost them for hours, and then I remember saying to myself, "Oh my God, I need to come in a wig next time or something."
Disguise.
You know what I mean? It's nice. Don't get me wrong, but it's wow.
Double-edged sword. You've got this massive fan base, but it's still killing you watching the game at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, but
the experience of the.
Do you know, like you probably like yourself, Parky, and you lads or whatever. I'm like a friend. I'll speak to anyone. Do you know what I mean? So I can't help, but I start asking. If someone stops me, I end up asking them about their family, and in the end, we're there for 10-15 minutes. But can
you do an impression? Can you do an impression?
Yeah. So you end up but like I was saying to you before, there's no problem with it at all because it's the reason I do it for a living. Yeah. People like it, so
have you had any awkward moments? I know you've been doing stuff with the lads that you're doing impressions with and stuff at the minute. Have you had any uncomfortable moments where it might not you think they might not be taking it as well as everybody else is?
You know, to be honest with you, right, you're always wary of that. So I've been to gigs where Harry Redknapp's been there. I've done stuff, where Jamie Carragher's been there. Rafa Benitez was another one. And to be honest with you, I've never encountered any problems. They've always been great. To be honest with you, the ones you'd expect to be great are great. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes you're surprised. Like Michael Owen, what a great lad Michael Owen is. He gets a lot of stick, but what a nice. He took it on the chin. I was taking the mick out of him as Michael Owen, and he was brilliant. He was laughing, and he was, he gets a bit of a bad press, but I thought he was a great lad. And Rafa Benitez, Rafa's quite cold. My God, one of the warmest, nicest people I think I've ever met. Yeah. He was practically hugging me and everything.
We've had David Thompson on the podcast, and
everybody
knows that Michael Owen gets a lot of stick. So we asked him, what is he like in the changing room? From a player's perspective, and he went, he's absolute dynamite. He's brilliant, and that's all you need to know from our point of view, because we know how far a player's opinion goes. If he's saying he's unbelievable, he's a great lad, he'll sit with you in a boozer all day. That's all you need to know, and that was for me. Yeah, I don't give a fuck what people are saying about him as a pundit.
Yeah, he gets so much bad press, but you know what? To be honest with you, after meeting him. You kind of feel for him a little bit because, you think, he left Liverpool, went to Real Madrid, and then obviously he went to Man United or whatever. But I'd been to a game before he went to Man United. He come back with Newcastle and the stick he got. Honestly, as a Liverpool fan, I'm not just saying it, I was absolutely mortified. Owen won Liverpool trophies on his own. It was like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, and when I met him, great lad.
So do you think the Liverpool fans are like incredible when they're supporting, but on the flip side, they're like too much when they don't agree with what's gone off? You know what I mean?
It's just passion. Do you know what I mean? And I think what it was, the way it was looked at with Owen when he left, it was like, look, you know, you've left us really when we need you in a moment of crisis, because, you know, it was one of those like periods where you needed your big guns to stick around. It was a new time. Benitez came in, and I think people were like, but I look at it and think to myself, you know, one opportunity to go to Real Madrid. I never really like looked at it like that. I never do. Actually, players go to Madrid or Barcelona, like, fair enough. I'm not being funny. You can't. It's same with Coutinho when he went.
Daz, I always wanted to play in Greece, mate. So I'm exactly the same as all them.
I suppose it was the United move after winning that twisted the knife a little bit.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, when that happened, I mean, you just think, oh, he knows what's coming. But like I was saying to you before, I don't defend that, because I think that it probably wasn't the wisest move, but I think it was out of them and Stoke at the time, wasn't it? Or I think it might have even been like a Burnley or something. And I think because I'd seen the stick he got when he come back before, that was the season after he come back with Newcastle. And I thought, well, he was getting a lot of stick at the time. And listen, you know, Liverpool fans, geez, you know, they love you, they support you. When he was in a Liverpool shirt, he was appreciated. But I just, I couldn't understand that. Do you know what I mean? As a fan, and I know Jamie Carragher's come out and said a few things as well, that it was a bit baffling, but he was a brilliant player. But like how we were talking about before, no, to be honest, in terms of like awkwardness with people, they're all great. I've never really had a problem with anyone, to be fair.
Who do you know if you're in somebody's company and they say, right, this is a sketch that we're going to do, who do you look forward to the most? Where you go, he's going to take it great. I know I'm great. I know I've got this on lockdown.
Yeah.
Who do you look forward to the most?
In a character, you mean? Like what character?
Yeah, in your character.
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you, right? I do love doing everyone. Like to me, at the moment, one of my favourites to do is Fark, the Norwich manager. Honestly, I love doing it. Yeah, I'll do a bit of. Ask me a question as Fark. Go on, and I'll
right. So, right, on a serious note, right? Yeah, I know you're wanting to. You might want the Premiership season to start back up, but you know for a fact you're going to get fucking relegated. Right.
But yes, of course, that's a great example. Of course, you try to say something like this, but we have to try to get a restart and avoid the relegation. That's the most important thing. But try to get it, and we are a very good team. Of course, I know you played for Barnsley, who were absolutely shit, and I don't want to talk about that, or your support of Barnsley, John Hendry, couldn't move at all. But I have to say, of course, I'm very proud of the Canaries, Kel Wood, and of course, it's a great example for the Canaries, and of course, Delia, she's wonderful. We have a great relationship, and she's very good, and of course, if we get a great result, I'll always give her a large portion of German sausage because, of course, she appreciates that and she really likes my food. So, yes.
But you're going to get fucking relegated.
Yes, that is true. This is true. Yes.
Daz, do you know what I've noticed about your work? Yeah. Is the stuff that you don't say. It's the noises in between, like the on. What's Gerard's?
Gerard. Of course. So with Gerard, right? So when he was younger, what I tend to do, lads, right, is that I'll take something very small, and I'll kind of like totally, I'll go off track with it. So Wayne Rooney, obviously, you know, he's very, very. He says a lot, doesn't he? When you watch him in an interview, do you know what I mean? Rooney, if you're talking to Rooney, he'll be like, yeah, I think so. Obviously, it's a great you know, I think that you've got it, because obviously when it first went to America, it was very difficult within the language barrier. It was very difficult, and I really struggled with that. It was very difficult. So with Rooney, you know, he probably says a couple of times, but I'll say like a million. So with Gerard, when he first come on the scene, when Gerard first come on the scene, it was. He don't honestly, like, there's a compilation of him saying it on like YouTube, and he'd come out and go, yeah, of course, Yeah, of course. Honestly, every interview, right? Every single interview. So when I do it, obviously, you take it a little bit. You take it a bit off track, and you're like, yeah, of course, and you just go there, you know. I think he stopped doing it now, though.
Because of you.
What's that, Barry? Missed that, mate.
Because has it stopped because of you?
I missed that again.
Has it stopped because of you?
Do you think you like Fargo a bit because he's completely different to any other football character? Because he's softly spoken and he's almost got like a bit of a camp element to it. So it's like something completely different than what you usually do.
100%, mate. Yeah, 100. What you need is you always look at like different characters that come in. So you're always looking for something different, and like, you know, the likes of Daniel Fark himself. It's even like with Ancelotti now, you know, with Everton, the eyebrow. Have you got onto the eyebrow with Ancelotti? Or just watching his eyebrow? For some reason, his eyebrows, yeah. I don't know why. But that's him. So literally, though, you know, I don't know what it is. It's either permanently stuck there, or I don't know. But he done his first like press conference, and I thought, oh, this is gold dust. And listen, the stick I get off Everton fans, or it's, you know, when you know you've got a character related to Everton, and you know you can take the mick out of the Evertonians. Oh, it's great for me. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Daz, who's been the hardest to learn? The one that you've mastered. Say all the ones in your locker. Who's been the hardest to perfect?
Do you know what? There's a few, to be fair. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. One of the most difficult to do was Brendan Rodgers. He was really difficult, and I've actually spoke to other impressionists about that. And you know, he's northern. I think it's more so with the mannerisms, with the faces, because Brendan Rodgers, he's a fascinating character. Just with obviously like he's got that little bit of David Brent, hasn't he? You know, like the Office kind of thing. So it's those things that make the character. So you can do a Northern Irish voice, but I found it was more the little subtleties, you know, and his little, you know, all that gear and that. So he was difficult, but again, like I was saying before, right? The thing is, you look back at impressions that you've done, you know, a while back, and you go, gee, that wasn't very good, and you get better with time. Like I look at me early stuff with even like the likes of Harry Redknapp, and I'm like, oh, that's awful. And then it gradually just gets better the more you do it, and the more. Who's been
the most that you fell on your ass with? Can you remember one isolated incident?
Give up the ghost on anybody?
That's a good question. That actually, what the thing is, you see, I'll know myself because I've got mates who'll say, look, no, just you need to work on that. Don't put it out there. So I won't really put anything.
That's fucking shite. No.
Yeah. No. Listen. There'll be worse than that. They'll tell me straight. We've got a little WhatsApp group, and I'll put something up, and they'll go, "Fuck, no, put it away." I'm surprised they haven't stitched me up, to be honest with you, with a few. But whereas, like, I'll do something go like I remember doing. I think it was Roberto Martinez. I remember doing him and thinking this is garbage, and I'd done him. And the lads were like, oh my God, that's brilliant. That's fantastic or whatever. So there's times where like you think you haven't got a character and, you know, you have got him. But there's times where you're dead confident with a character and in the end, people will go, nah, it's not very good. That. So, you know, it's just I know now that like you don't have to rush your character. You can take your time with it. You know what I mean? It'll be better in 6 months than it is now. So sometimes...
Is that from your confidence about knowing that you can do what you can do? Must be, yeah.
But you know what, Parky, right? You know when you do impressions, right? I'll not in an arrogant way or anything like that, but a lot of me stuff's done quite well. So your next impression could be your last, to be honest with you. And that's the way I look at it. You know, you put an impression out. If it's really bad, it does you credit. You're always under pressure, really. Every time you put a bit of content up. You know, you're under pressure. You're not always going to get it right, don't get me wrong. But with social media, sure, you know, you can fall on your bum.
Do you read them?
No, I don't really. It's a funny one, that. Because I know of people who obviously work in the same industry, who do find the social media side quite difficult. But I think it just depends on you, on your background and where you're from. Like I can laugh at myself. My mates take the piss out of me. You know, my wife takes the piss out of me. I'm not being funny. It really doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like it's never bothered me.
You. I'm exactly the same as you.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, Parky, right, as well. It does give me ammunition, you know. I think that I get more than anything, right, I probably get more stick off Spurs fans when I do Harry Kane, right? They're in love with Harry Kane. I don't know what's going on there. It's proper weird, but they fall apart every time I put a Kane vid on. And Everton, because I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm known for being a Liverpool fan. Yeah. And I take the mick out of it. So I get more stick from them. And honestly, right, it just gives you more ammunition. You can't wait to do another one. That's just how it is. And
on the Tottenham Hurricane, this is from an England football fan type of thing. Do you think do you really wish you'd have passed to Sterling in the 19? You wish you'd have passed to Sterling or not?
He'll get that.
You get.
This is me.
Basically asking if Darren will do an impression of Harry Kane.
Yes, I was asking.
Is that what you're asking?
I never got. I thought he was asking for a cup of tea or something. And that confused me. That I don't know what was going on. You're asking me a question. Oh, go on. I'll answer this, Harry Kane. Go on. Yeah.
So, Harry, do you wish you'd have passed the ball to Sterling?
Yeah, obviously. I think when the ball's come through, you're in a great position, and you've got a great chance to get the ball. Yeah, obviously. And that's obviously it didn't fall. But that was the opportunity I had. So, obviously.
So you should have fucking passed it to him, you cunt. Sorry.
Daz, one thing I wanted to ask you, how long was it before you made it big? I might have been at the toilet, Chris, you might have already asked this, but how long was it that you grounded out before you thought you'd made it?
Do you know, to be honest with you, right, like I was saying before, I think it was about 2008 when I kind of first done, you know, obviously like the first video came about and that. And I wasn't really taking it, I looked at it more like, you know, it's just I'll have a bit of a laugh, I'll have a bit of fun. Like I'd done like the Liverpool Football Club Christmas party. I'd done, you know, I got to meet me heroes, if you know what I mean, at the time. And it was like, I never thought to myself, like, you know, you could do this. I could do it professionally, if you know what I mean. So I started working with another guy from Liverpool, and he had like a production company, and he said, look, you know, I've got the camera, I've got the stuff, I'd love to do stuff with you. And basically we started like creating content then for online. I thought I'll give it a go, see how it goes. And then I think it would have been about 2000, and I think you touched on it before, about 2012, 2013. And I started getting a lot of work then from the online stuff. So I was getting loads of gigs. I was getting loads of work at football clubs. Like I was working at Anfield quite a lot, doing stuff on match days. And then I started doing a lot of like online stuff. And from there, I think I'd probably say the last couple of years have been for me with the realization that hang on, you can actually like build a career like online. Do you know what I mean? We've had great. Yeah, honestly, it's more so. I'd probably say like the last 3 or 4 years, really, it's like it's kind of turned over where I've thought, you know what, like if I really put my head into this and go at it, you know, I can build a career. Because I think early on I looked at it and thought like I'd love a TV show. That's the dream, isn't it? You know, for any kind of like, you know, comedian, impressionist or what. But it kind of changed, you know. It's changed a little bit because I think that more so you find more people online than watching telly these days. Yeah. Even now with you lads, you know what I mean? Like it's online, you know, a lot of the stuff. And TV is great exposure, don't get me wrong, but I find now the generation of kids and even like, you know, the older people, they're online. Yeah. You know, you look around, they're on the phones, they're on Netflix, they're on Facebook and YouTube, and it's changed a lot.
A lot of that's the nostalgia of what we've been brought up with Saturday night TV, innit? And then
definitely,
accepting how it's changed.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm not a massive TV watcher anyway, but I'm not like, even though I've had to become like quite good at social media. Do you know what I mean? Because it's what I do.
I'm
I'll be
exactly
honest.
the same, mate. I'm exactly the same. I didn't have fucking no idea. No idea about it, mate.
Yeah.
Still
Honestly,
doesn't.
before I started doing this, I wasn't on any social medias whatsoever. There was only really Facebook and YouTube at the time, I think. But I wasn't even on Twitter for a while, you know, when I first come on the scene. And I don't have personal accounts. I don't. It's all to do with my work in terms of what I do, because that's just how it is. I mean, myself, and, you know, I'd class myself as quite a private lad, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I look at them as like my little TV channels, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's your dream? What's the pinnacle?
You know, at the moment, I feel like I'm kind of living it, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, I think you're doing incredible, mate. I really do.
Thank you.
I'm not just blowing smoke up your eye because I'm pissed, but it's fucking incredible. You know, like when I see your Twitter come up, I watch it and I'm pissing myself.
I appreciate it, mate. I appreciate it. Yeah. Have you always had a bevy though when you're watching the vids? Because I don't know whether.
I've always had a bevy most times. I'm watching any videos on fucking Twitter.
Have you looked? Would you do any collabs with any other Impressionists?
I've done stuff before, and to be honest with you, you're always open to different ideas. And there's some brilliant Impressionists about now. I mean, like I think we've got to a time now where when I first come on the scene, that there wasn't really anyone. There wasn't much social media at the time either. There was like the YouTubes, and there wasn't video. The only place you could put video content was YouTube. That was it.
Yeah.
So there was nothing else. Whereas now there's a big platform, and you're seeing more and more like really good Impressionists coming on the scene, and that's great. That, because I think there was a period speaking to people where it just went off. It just kind of like it just. So I always get the same name given to me, Mike Yarwood. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he seems to be the only Impressionist that was on the scene back in the day. Whereas now you've got a few, but I do like. Don't get me wrong. I would do collab stuff definitely, but I'll be honest with you. I like doing my own content. Do you know what I mean? I do, but I'd be open to it. Definitely, I'd be open to it.
Daz, I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
If you could do one of us three, have you mastered any of the accents from Sunderland?
Wow.
That has put me on the spot. I mean, Parky would be definitely the one I'd be looking at, to be fair.
Be similar to Harry Kane, I imagine.
Yeah. Harry Kane after 14 vodka and cokes, I think. I'm just going to go and have 16 cans of Bud, and then I'll join back in, and I'll do Parky.
Mate, I'm out. I've got 6 down at Frisbee. Fucking, I'll be in a bit.
Oh, brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
But mate, it must on a serious note. I can be serious every now and again. It must have just changed your life. This is it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 100%, mate. Honestly, I mean, like. I look at this, and I was saying to you before, it's just a total blessing. You just can't believe it. And I honestly, right, you know, you lads are the same, right? I'm just obsessed with football. I'm obsessed with it, though. Like, you know, it doesn't matter what level of it is, Premiership, League Two. I watch it all. Every country. I am obsessed with football, and basically, I'm watching football, and you're doing what you love. You're going to events with, like, you know. Honestly, I've met pretty much, like, you know, every footballer you look up to, and you're like, what am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? You just you kick yourself a little bit, to be fair. And it is, mate. It is living the dream, 100%, 100%. And that's what I was saying to you before. You feel like you already are doing what you know. You feel like you're living the dream, basically.
Yeah. So who's your next fight, Connor? Have you got anything in the pipeline, or
straight again?
I don't do. Are you asking Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
I don't even do him. I don't do Conor McGregor.
Oh, sorry, that was the other one.
That's the other one. That's the other one.
Fuck off, mate.
Hey, you know what? You know what though? Hey, do you know what though? You do get that. You know, like you could be walking around and someone will come up to you and go, "Here's a bit of Jurgen Klopp," and you're like, I don't even do it. You know what I mean? And you. That's what I'm saying.
You're gonna.
I did know that, Daz. I did know that.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know. I get it.
Hey, we've got the Liverpool quiz for you, mate. But you know, with the comments in the YouTube at the minute, I think we've got to ask for a couple. We've got to ask for a couple.
Yeah, go on, of course.
Who's your favourite? Like, in fact, I'm gonna ask you.
Let him have some thinking time. I'd love to know how Rafa's coping with the all-you-can-eat buffets at the minute in China.
Yeah, I think that sometimes you know that always when you talk about this, I think that they are really good. The food was really good. The shumai was really good. Wonton soup was really fantastic. So it tastes really good. So always you like to have very compact with some of the egg fried rice was really good. Was nice. It was very so yeah, you can see that was fantastic. So I am enjoying it a lot. It was really good. Okay.
What about? Do you know? Has Colleen never got really pissed off with you when you've left the kids' toy room in a mess, or?
Yeah, I think obviously it's been quite difficult because obviously the kids are off school and that can be quite tough, and obviously we've had to do the homeschool, and that's been quite difficult. I mean, I'm learning quite a lot. The kids have taught me a lot of maths and a lot of things like that. So, and it's definitely working out really well. But I think that I'm just delighted the football's back and to go back to County Derby. That's the most important thing. And look, and I'll be honest with you, I'm hoping to sign a new contract. And I think I'm on £50,000 a week, so I'm hoping to double that to 25. I think that's great opportunity. So. Yeah.
So you've left the jungle. You've appeared in a lot of sticky toffee pudding adverts. Your son's probably more famous than you are as a pundit. Where do you go from here?
Were you now? Yeah, I think it's been absolutely terrific. It has. I think the jungle was terrific. I've done a lot of terrific stuff as well. And Jamie, he's an handsome lad. Yeah, of course. But I think, I think that it's a difficult one. Football's what I'm after. I think that the offers have came in to get back to football. I think it's absolutely terrific. It's fantastic. But yeah, I think. Listen, I've been offered a contract. Yeah, Kidderminster Harriers. They've came in. Yeah, they've offered me 300 grand. 300 grand they've offered me after tax, £4 million. Yeah, it's absolutely
Oh, brilliant! We've just got in the comments. All we're getting is Bruce.
What, Steve Bruce or Bruce Lee?
But I don't. I've got to say, I'm very proud to be here. I've got to say, it's really good, and we're doing very well. I'm very proud. The lads are playing well. We've been working hard. Especially at home, we've got some great players, and Joe Linton. He's been in the back garden. Practicing shooting for 2 weeks now. 2 weeks. What a great player! Absolutely brilliant. He hasn't scored yet, but he's getting in the right positions, let me tell you that. He's a great player. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am. The takeover, I'm looking forward to bringing in some top players, a couple of billion in the transfer market, but well,
I mean, you've obviously left Liverpool. Some would say your opportunities in England will be few and far between. You've got to Celtic, and then you come back to the Premier League. How have you found the adjustment from the Scottish Premier League to the Premier League?
I'm very proud to be here. Very proud to be here. I think in terms of the game, I think Liverpool was a very good team. We had some very good young players working hard and scoring goals. And Celtic was a very difficult team. But I think, Leicester City, I think we've got a great opportunity. I think, we're very close to the top four for the Champions League. And it's a very good competition for me. Yeah, but, when I work in the Champions League, I've had some very good results, really good. And certainly lots of goals. Lots of goals have been scored. I think PSG scored 7 against me. I think Barcelona scored 8. So I'm certainly very proud. And Kolo Touré is the most beautiful human being in the world. So I'm very proud to be here.
It's almost like you're throwing your voice doing Brendan there. It doesn't seem like it's coming out of you.
It is. That's what I was saying before, though. It's totally different doing Brendan Rodgers. I did find that difficult when I first done him. I remember when his first press conference with Liverpool. When you see a character and you just think, yeah, he's a brilliant character. Some of the things he was coming out with, and he was different. Do you know what I mean? He was different, and but it sounded more Scottish when I first started doing him, and then eventually it just builds with time. I was saying before, lads, you look back at your previous stuff and you're like, wow, that was so bad, but things just improve. It is a strange one.
You're fine tuning it every time you're doing it without realising, I suppose, aren't you?
Defo. When you're doing live as well, sometimes impressions don't come out right. So when you're live, at a gig, say for instance you're at a gig or something, you can do an impression that 9 times out of 10, it'll come out brilliant. But at a gig, sometimes if it doesn't come out right,
just gone.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Honestly,
it's a lonely place, mate. That stage when things are not going well, mate. Innit? It's a lonely place.
Honestly, I mean, I do love performing live. Don't get me wrong, but you can have some. I've had some strange gigs. Don't get me wrong.
How do you acknowledge it? Do you know if a good hits up? Do you actually say, "Sorry, lads, that was shit"?
Do you know what? To be fair, right, I've been quite fortunate. There's probably people who've seen me who've gone, well, now you've died a few times. Not
as fortunate as what you fucking think, big and not like that.
I'll be honest with you, right? I've been quite fortunate where they do seem to go down quite well. But yeah, if you're having a bad one, you've got to perform to the same level. It doesn't matter. I've been to I remember walking into one and everyone was over at the age of 70, right? And I thought, I'm at the wrong place here. It looked like I was at a dance, like an old dance or something. I was like, what am I doing here? And I went on and thought, I've been booked for something's gone wrong. But it turned out the organizer was just a bit of a fan, so it was for him. It wasn't for anyone else. It was for him. So I've done it. I'm not, honestly, these people were just going, they were looking at each other as if to say, what's going on? But you've got to carry on. You can't stop. You can't. You've got to give the same performance, even though you're screaming inside, help!
You basically used the kitty for a private gig for the Christmas.
It was just for him. It was just for him.
I've had enough of it where it were horrendous.
John, what was that, mate? I didn't. All I heard then was yeah.
I said I'd after dinner, right? And after 5 minutes, probably not even 5 minutes, 4 minutes, I realised this will be a long fucking thought to this. It's a lonely place up there, isn't it? These two dickheads don't realise what it is. When you're on that, at the front of that 150 people, 200 people, and it's not going well, it's a fucking lonely old place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's listen, the one thing I'll always say is that it takes balls, mate, to get up. I don't care who you are, what singer, yourself, former footballer, myself, it takes balls to get up and to speak, do you know what I mean? And sometimes you can't, listen, you go to these gigs and these dinners or whatever, and people will have had a couple of drinks, and I think the more you do it, the more you kind of deal with it, because I'm different. I'm not really, you've got your old school comedians who'll just go for the audience. Do you know what I mean? That's not me. I'm an impressionist. That's what I do. I've been booked to do a few footballers. So sometimes I think they're expecting a comedian, at these dinners, like a proper, because I've worked with some brilliant comedians, but what I do is totally different. So I think sometimes, don't get me wrong, I know how to, look, and if you get echoed, I've done it that much now, you know how to deal with it and you know how to kill someone.
Yeah.
But
I quite like it echoed me because
it sets you up, doesn't it?
It makes you easy. You can fucking batter them back, can't you?
Yeah, it does, mate. It does 100%. Yeah. But,
Have you done the PFA awards yet?
No. I've not done
That's
the PFA awards.
Time.
Yeah, I've done some good ones. I think the problem you've got now, if I'm honest with you, right, is that I think it's borderline sometimes. I think footballers can, and I'm not saying this about all footballers, but I think footballers might be a little bit easily offended these days. Do you know what I mean? So I think
they can fuck off, mate.
You've opened a can of worms now, mate. You've opened a can of worms here now.
Any footballers will get offended by that. Fuck off. Mate, they're all fucking arseholes. If any footballer's offended by you pillaging them, like having a bit of crap, they can fuck off.
No, I think what I'm saying, lads, is that, like, you know, we do kind of, like, we live in that world now where, you know, people can be easily offended. So I think with footballers, if you were to go through a gig and you had, like, you know, the likes of the PFA awards, I think, you know, it'd be a bit risky for them to have someone like me. That's just the way I look at it. You know what I mean?
It shouldn't be like. I've got one more question, Daz.
Oh, go on.
I've got one
yeah. Go on, mate.
What's so hard about the Gary Neville takeoff?
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you, right? It's a strange one, but I've not really practiced Gary Neville. I haven't, and it's a bit silly thinking about it because obviously with the Monday Night Football stuff, you've got a bit of gold there you can work with. But I've never really looked at it. I wouldn't even say I've, like, you know, you can practice with an impression. Sometimes an impression will come naturally, but sometimes you do have to work on one. So I think I'll have to get on them now, definitely. And
Daz, on a serious note, right? So you can, you know, like you'll sit in your armchair with your missus and your kids and everything round about, and you're like, I'm practicing. Fuck off, love. I'm practicing. You know when she's like, when she's chelping, look, I'm practicing, and you're just like spouting. I'm practicing, love. This is my work.
Yeah.
Has it been like that?
Do you know, to be honest with you, right? I think it took me missus a while to kind of get the gist out. You know, it's a job. Do you know what I mean? Early on, because it's difficult to explain. No, it's a job. You know, you're not going on a building site, and you know, you're not going like working in a supermarket or whatever. It's still a job what I'm doing. It's just that it's so different. Do you know what I mean? So I do film. I do film from home. So you know, so it can be. I mean, it's been difficult on the lockdown because you've got the kids off school, they're running around, and then the missus has got a music on or whatever. So there's been we've had a bit of beef, to be honest with you. Over it.
Daz, have you got anybody in the pipeline?
You're the first person. The first person who said we've had a bit of fucking beef. I went last 6 weeks on how long we've been doing this.
Yeah. Daz, have you got anybody in the pipeline that you're trying to perfect that we should look out for?
Always, Chris. Always different characters, mate. I think that you'd always need the right characters, really. Do you know what I mean? And there's constantly different ones coming into like football. You know, I look at like it's a bit of a merry-go-round. You can get a character and then boom, he's gone out the Premier League. I think it was doing Unai Emery, but he was gone 3 months later. Sorry, the Chelsea manager, he went, but I'm working on like the likes of Frank Lampard now, which is quite a basic one, but the funny one with him is he laughs in every interview. He laughs all the time. So he's one I'm working on at the moment. There's a few, do you know what I mean? You've always got to be on your toes a little bit, and you've always got to think of new characters all the time. But the right ones, funny characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've got a Liverpool quiz for you, mate.
Yeah, go on, let's do it.
We've got 60 seconds on the clock. Who's on the questions? Chris, you're on the questions. We won't get to a minute reading. We won't get past first question if he's doing it.
Oh, no.
Is the question
no.
Okay. Say that again.
2 seconds.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've got them, Daz.
Here we
go on, mate, I'm ready.
Here we go. A minute on the clock. Off we go.
What is the name of the stadium?
Anfield.
Who wears the number 10 this season?
Manny.
Correct. How many points do Liverpool currently have?
85.
82. Who is Liverpool's all-time leading goal scorer?
Ian Rush.
Correct. Who was manager before Jurgen Klopp?
Brendan Rodgers.
Correct. In the nearest 1,000, what's the capacity of Anfield?
68,000.
54. Who did Liverpool sign James Milner from?
Man City.
Correct. What was the year Liverpool was founded?
1892.
Correct. Who was Liverpool's record signing?
Virgil Allison.
Virgil, you had it right.
Oh, you fucked it, Daz, you fucked it.
What brand makes this year's kit?
Nike.
New Balance.
Oh,
Where did
6 on the clock? 6 on the counter.
6.
What we doing?
I maybe one of them will look.
How many did they get there?
6.
6. Yeah. Wow. They're harder when you put on the spot, aren't they?
It'd be one of them. It'd be one of the most European.
I was thinking. I couldn't believe.
Cup finals and.
I couldn't believe. I was thinking what year they were founded. I don't know why I was thinking.
Well, mate, cheers for your time. Absolutely brilliant.
You've been, honestly, from a personal point of view, you've been my favourite guest.
Oh,
Just
thank
a lad
you.
and
No
your
problem,
impressions.
guys. Thanks very much, guys. Thank you.
So, on a serious note, are you climbing Kilimanjaro or what with us?
I'm looking at it, mate. Definitely, yeah. I'd love to do it. Definitely, 100%. I think it'd be. I need to start doing stuff like that, so I'm probably gonna hook up with that one, mate. Therefore,
we'd love to have you on it, mate. We would love to have you on it, but
cheers, guys.
Thanks again, mate.
Mate,
all the best.
Daz,
all the family.
Thanks so much for coming on, mate. Very much appreciated.
Thanks very much, guys.
You take care, Megan.
Take care.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, guys. Bye. Bye.
Right. It was fantastic.
My favourite. I'm gonna put it out there. That is my favourite, Johnny.
We break.
What Daz were?
Just from his, because he was such a good lad. I've seen his YouTube videos and his Instagram videos, but he was such a just a normal fella.
They all are. They all are. But I think Daz really did get I don't know what we were doing before, but he just ended up dropping on something that he was fucking really good at.
I think from my point of view, Matt, from listening to him, he was just a likeable fella.
Oh, aye.
I'm hoping the people watching got on board with it, because it was. I could have listened to him all night, out of character.
Yeah,
I loved the fact that he was speaking in character, but I could have listened to him all night when he was out of character.
Just his normal self.
Yeah.
Mate, it was brilliant. But I think he really appreciates that, he just ended up doing impressions.
One of the best things about it, he actually said to you, what was that part? Yeah, I didn't quite understand.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all right. But mate, what a good night, by the way. Incredible night.
Right. If I pass you a mic now, what would you sing? Give us a rendition.
Nah, it don't matter about that. We're not about singing now, but
what do you mean we're not on about singing?
Mate, what about we doing a little bit of a debrief on tonight? Mate,
you shitbag. You didn't fancy it,
chaps.
Johnny, I've seen your head go twice in 5 days.
Oh, God.
Right,
mate.
I'll give you a debrief. You're back on Foster's on Saturday.
Mate, I'm not.
Gonna say, if Darren Farley can go, what the fuck you saying? What was that, John?
We're gonna have to get a translator in.
It's not that bad.
We'll get a little woman. We'll get a little woman in bottom right hand corner.
It's not that bad, you dickhead.
Cards.
Right, so let's do a little debrief of tonight's show.
It was all very good.
It was. Listen,
It
lads,
was,
I'll say it again. If you've watched from the start and you've seen Tommy and you've seen John, just check his website out.
Yeah.
He's an inspirational fella. Since the best thing to come from this lockdown is me speaking to Tommy and finding out what he goes through day to day. He's changed my life, and he is.
He's made you realise, isn't he?
I mean, Johnny, you know more than as well as I do that everybody mourns. We all mourn, Chrissy. You mourn. We all mourn about certain things.
He mourns about being with us.
Yeah. Tommy never mourns. Every time I speak to him, there's never a mourn.
Yeah,
and that is a learning curve for me. That
for everybody, it should be a learning for everybody.
It should be, yeah.
When he's got so much to moan about,
he's always got something to talk about, as opposed to mourning. Whenever I speak to him, it's always about music. It's always about his family. It's always about the stuff that he's taken to save his life.
Yeah, it's not about the cards that have been dealt.
And that's a mindset and getting your head around that, whether no matter what situation you're in, isn't it? And he's obviously doing a fantastic job doing it.
Yeah. Imagine, Chrissy. Sorry, imagine speaking to the country's best impressionist and then asking him something that he doesn't even do.
Who did that?
Mr. Brown.
Who's the one that does McGregor? One of them does McGregor.
The best thing is, before we even started, you said McGregor's fantastic. McGregor's fantastic.
Do you know what I said? I said his best three are McGregor, Al Pacino, and some other fucker, and that's a different fella.
Yeah, it is. Christopher, hang your head in shame. Could be worse.
Know. That's a Bob Brown moment.
20 cans of Budweiser down.
Jesus.
No one can tell what you're saying.
And do you know what makes it worse? I was drinking straight gin for the last 35 minutes.
Mate, I've still got plenty in the fridge. I'm going down now to attack them.
Well, thanks everybody for watching. Once again, the donation's still going across the bottom. And if you want to get on your beer 52, you can do as well. That's going along the bottom. Any more
Chris,
for any more? Yes.
I really enjoy these, mate.
Quick question.
No,
can we have
not Sweet Caroline.
Can we have one song? Just edit it. Just take it off the end of the edit. But if we have one song,
no, because it'll get pulled straight away.
The what?
It will get pulled straight away.
No, but just cut
can
it
do
out.
Acapulco.
Just anything.
Acapulco.
Let us get a top up, and I'll
going loco down in Acapulco.
By the way,
if you stay
too long,
going low.
Pork sausages.
Are they still going stronger, pork sausages? Or have you stopped with them?
Nah, they're nearly out of date.
Nearly.
What they're from April?
Well, we can't finish with this song until we know where we are with our copyrights, unfortunately. So, thanks for watching. Yeah. Once again, we'll be back on Saturday with the prostate cancer quiz. We can't finish on a song. As much as I want to, we can't.
What can we finish on?
Do you know about any magic tricks?
We must have a song ourselves, don't we? Right, I'll tell you what, I'll sing it, right? I'll sing it on my own YouTube. So
yeah, joking apart, I think he was my favourite guest.
I was a bit
Oh,
disappointed.
Daz.
I missed a lot of Witter because my headphones went.
Mate, both brilliant.
Right, we're going. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Who sings it? Na na na. Who sings it? Oh.
Thanks
Sing
for
it
watching,
Saturday,
everyone.
John.
See you on Saturday.
Away. Right. Good night, God bless people. Hope you've enjoyed it. Are we offline?
Under the cosh, under the cosh, it's under the cosh and friends. Oh, under the cosh, it's under the cosh, it's under the cosh and friends. Oh, week by week we take a peek at another guest, but it's a mystery. Oh, Kylie Minogue, no, Russell Crowe, oh, more likely a footballer that you don't know. So grab a beer and bring that cheer, 'cause it's time for Under the Cosh. And friends,